this week or whatever, you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm kind of running out of things to play."
Well, this is the thing, right? I've told you before. I have too many games to choose from. There's so many things.
In terms of your backlog.
Yeah, like I've probably got. I've probably played between 300 and 400 games total.
Yeah.
Across all consoles, and I've probably completed between 50 and 60, maybe.
But some of those are going to be too old to play now, aren't they?
I mean, yeah, I actually had. This is the thing. I had a good look probably 2 days ago because I'd spent like 3 or 4 days having a bit of a break. You did kind of say to me it'd probably be a good idea to have a bit of a break.
Yeah, just
which I
grab some air.
I did agree with. I literally just stopped playing games entirely, and I was like, right, I'm just going to go just relax and watch a TV show or a film or something, which is what I did.
Yeah.
And then I woke up, I think, on the 21st, and I was like, oh, I'm like super motivated for a game right now, like an old game that I've been wanting to play but haven't got around to. So I had a look through my back catalogue, and I found Wolfenstein. I was like, oh, I actually still need to finish this.
And your back catalogue, how's it arranged, mate? Have you got everything on your cross-media bar, or like how's it? How do you keep track of all these games? Because I've got lists.
Of all the ones I've like.
You never got round to.
It literally is just a matter of looking what I've downloaded, what I've bought in the past, and been like, right, what haven't I completed? I don't have like a set out proper list. It's literally just like look at what I've got. Remember, I have a pretty good memory when it comes to what I've played.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, did I play that? Nope, I'll play that now then.
Okay, and I remember when we spoke on the Xbox One, when just after it came, or just after this game came out, where the New Order first came out, right?
Yeah, so New Order,
and you were playing it,
right?
Yeah, the first like reboot from Machine Games.
Yeah, Machine Games. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you played that back in 2014 when I was playing Titanfall.
So,
and you were telling me about the game and stuff.
Yeah, so I remember very specifically, I left school in 2012, end of 2012. Yeah. Spent a year and a half, 2 years looking for a job, and literally this game and Watch Dogs came out in the same week, I want to say.
Okay, you spent that long getting a job? No way.
Yeah, it took me bloody forever.
Fair.
I went to so many interviews, it's disgusting. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Watch Dogs came out 13th of May 2014, which is a week before Wolfenstein New Order. And I bought them both, and I was like, right, I'm going to play these, I'm going to complete them. So I completed Watch Dogs, and literally the second I finished Watch Dogs, I went straight into Wolfenstein. And then I played that, and I completed it, and I absolutely loved it. Oh my god, I can't believe that was 6 years ago now. That's so gross.
Yeah, it's a bit worrying, isn't it?
6 years ago I did that. And then I remember Old Blood coming out, and learning that it was a prequel to New Order, but it was quite short. Like, it wasn't going to be much longer.
Like a DLC, like an expansion for the game.
It was a whole new game, but it might as well have been a DLC, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it really isn't that long.
And that's been their plan. They've done that for the second one as well, haven't they? Released the second game, released DLC for the second game, and released the like an expansion type thing.
I don't know. I haven't actually looked into it too much. I am gonna get round to Wolfenstein. What's the new one called? New Colossus, I think it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, you haven't played that one yet.
No, I haven't played it yet, but I have it downloaded. I did actually. Didn't know this, but I looked a little while ago. I got the season pass with it, so I have all the DLC.
Yeah.
So whether I'll still be interested enough to play the DLC as well, I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I finished the prequel, and I'm very happy about it. Did not take any time though. I finished it in 4 hours and 47 minutes.
Dude, that is really quick. I think it took me at least 6 to 8 with collectibles.
And I got all the collectibles as well.
Jesus, were you following a guide as you went?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that style of play with the first time you're playing a game?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Literally, that's like what I was about to say next. I was like, how do you feel about it? That's my preferable way of playing games nowadays.
Any game whatsoever.
Any game that has any collectibles and it's very linear, I'm like, right, where's the guide? And I'll follow the guide as I'm going along.
Okay, so
See,
did you do that for Final Fantasy VII Remake?
no, because there is no guide.
Okay, understood.
So I literally
Did
just
you,
played that. I didn't bother with like
as
collectibles or
in,
anything.
because there was no guide because the game was just out?
No, because this thing, some games nowadays don't come with a guide and never will do.
Oh, you mean because guides are as in physical guides?
Physical guides, yes. I'd say guides that you can follow. There was actually one for 7, but it was more of a trophy guide than anything else. So it was more just like making sure I didn't miss out on any of the trophies as I went along.
Yeah, okay. So my
Yeah,
one concern about that style of play is that if you're playing a very engrossing experience,
I know what you're going to
I
say.
know, yeah, you know it's coming.
I know what's coming. Yeah, I do.
The Last of Us, right?
Okay, yeah.
The thing for me is that the collectible collection, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
will stunt that experience. It's going to put brakes. It's going to put the thing on hold. Moreover, if you are really into the story, it is going to be the case that you're going to like get into it and then be like, oh no, I need to get this collectible, and then you're also risking yourself of getting put off by the game because you want to get collectibles.
Yeah, I will say I used to feel that way a lot, probably about 9 or 10 years ago, and then for
Okay.
some reason something clicked. Um, I don't know, something just sort of made it. I think the appeal of actually like getting the collectibles first time round, which just felt nice, but it felt nice enough for me to not get bothered by it, and it just stopped affecting me. Like I didn't that like getting collectibles nowadays doesn't affect my feeling towards the story or anything like that anymore. Because to me, it's just now the way I play games. So to me, it's all like it's the new normal for me essentially. If
Right,
that
I'm
makes
with you.
sense, yeah.
So, but do you not think there's any confession there in terms of when I collect these, collectibles throughout the campaign, there is some form of okay. For example, the OCD is obviously getting to a point where you need to collect the collectibles as you're going through. Are you against going back and doing them, or you just don't want to waste that time?
Yeah, I feel like it is the time thing because you have to play the chapter all over again.
Yeah,
I'd rather get it.
until you get to do it with the collectible.
Yeah, exactly. Or like maybe if you've missed every collectible and
Yeah,
you're on purpose missing them all and want to go back, you've then got to
yeah,
play the game twice anyway.
true.
So it's good because I can just move on to the next thing then. Like let's
Right.
say
Okay. Yeah.
I missed all the collectibles deliberately and want to go back. I've now got to spend another 5 hours doing it all over again.
Yeah.
It's just
Sorry.
playing the game again, which I don't really want to have to do.
Sure. Sure. I guess. Yeah. But also, are you not? So, in the back of your mind, while this story's happening, are you not thinking like, "Oh, I hope I haven't missed a collectible," which in turn is kind of getting in the way of the game?
Honestly, it kind of depends on the difficulty of attaining the collectible.
Okay.
This was a very easy collectible game. Like there's only technically two sets of collectibles. There's letters and gold bars.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And there's only 10 letters and there's 64 gold bars. Right,
Yeah.
8 on each chapter, and then
It's
maybe
easier than it sounds
yeah,
because I remember doing the collectibles. Yeah.
it's like super easy. Like
Yeah.
honestly, you could get every collectible. It's it's very difficult to miss one. Like the game saves at certain points where if you have missed one and you didn't realize it, you can actually like revert back to the save point and it'll sort of do it like the more recent checkpoint. As long as you haven't gone too far, you can actually go back quite a way and make it so you haven't missed anything. But I think I only did that once and I freaked myself out. I was like, oh no, I think I missed one. But then I reverted
Fair.
back to the checkpoint and it put me in exactly the right spot I needed to be in. So I think I just got lucky
Fair.
there. But yeah.
So yeah, so you finished. So as someone who finished the New Order many years ago now,
Yeah, 6 years ago.
excuse my friend.
Oh,
Oh.
it's insane.
Oh
Oh wow.
Christ. You finished that 6 years ago.
Did.
What are your thoughts now? So you haven't played Wolfenstein 2 or anything past that, then?
Nope. To be honest,
Okay.
yeah.
So what do you think of the Old Blood? Let me put a spoiler bubble around it, Jay.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We're gonna spoil the Old Blood. So fast forward 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes if you don't want to hear anything about the old Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, but to be fair, it is fairly old now. So, Jay, please
6 years
continue.
old, yeah, or almost. I don't know when this one actually came out. Probably a year later.
Yeah, think about that.
Yeah. So the New Order was amazing, and graphically, it kind of actually surprised me because I love games about World War II.
Yeah.
And this Wolfenstein is obviously a version of World War II if Germany won, right?
Yeah.
So I love the whole aesthetic.
The Nazis.
Yeah, I love the whole aesthetic. I love the whole idea of all the technology and the brainwashing everything. But I don't know. Have you played the New Order, the first one?
I have.
Right, okay.
To give a bit of background for you and the listeners, I've played every Wolfenstein game from this reboot thing.
So you've played 2
apart
as well,
from the
right?
new expansion. I've played 2.
Right, okay. So have you played Youngblood?
No.
Right, okay. I'm going to bring that up in a little while.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, no, I'm with you. No, I haven't. No, that's the one I haven't played.
Okay. So yeah, this one. Was there zombies in the first one?
There was not.
Right. So that's what surprised me.
Yeah. That's the main twist in halfway through the game. Yeah, that is the main twist.
More than halfway. It's actually at the end or the middle of chapter 6 out of 8.
Okay.
All of a sudden, there's just zombies, and I'm like, oh my god! I've been kind of waiting for this, but I was so surprised by it. I was like, I was honestly expecting the end boss to be Helga in the woman who finds all this stuff, to be in some sort of giant mech or something.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting zombies, and when it happened, I was like, yes, this makes so much sense. World War II zombies, okay. But I don't want you to. I don't know if I want you to say or not. But I'm guessing there either will or won't be zombies in the second game.
So think of The Old Blood as a standalone thing.
Okay, good. I kind of wanted it to be on its own. That's kind of what I wanted.
I can't remember exactly where, but I'm sure The Old Blood has a place before it's before you get knocked out by the shrapnel, isn't it?
Yeah. It's definitely before New Order.
When that happened, I was like, oh, this feels strange, a bit out of place. But then because the zombie twist happens, I think it's very much a kind of write-off, basically.
To be honest, I'm kind of glad it exists, though.
100%.
Because in this universe, there's a lot of supernatural stuff that happens.
Yes,
this universe, all this technology, none of this could have ever existed. This is all... Yes. I love the idea that Wolfenstein really is that idea of what the Americans and the British in the real world were thinking the Germans were coming up with. They were practicing brainwashing and reading minds, and they thought they had psychic super soldiers and stuff. And they've brought that to life, and I love that so much.
And I think that's why the zombies make so much sense, because it fits within that narrative. Do
you know what's weird? Zombies, I feel have gone slightly out of favour, haven't they? They've sort of been overdone now, haven't they?
Correct.
The last, I'd probably say, maybe 7 or 8 years, zombies have done. They're done now, right?
So 360, we had zombie after zombie game, and then we
Dead
had
Rising.
The Walking Dead reach its peak, both the TV show and the games, and now it's I think Xbox One, we've pretty much seen the death of zombies.
Left 4 Dead. I mean, all the classics, are okay, but then it's sort of
Dead Island,
State of Decay. You played that, didn't you?
Yep, State of Decay 2 came out
I didn't play the second one. I played the first one. I was actually kind of surprised they made a second one. I was like, aren't zombies done? It seems strange to me. I'm guessing they did fine, but...
I played State of Decay 1 for about 5 minutes, and I got to say, I thought it was pretty broken.
Oh, you mean buggy?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I liked the first one. I completed that. That was quite fun.
Nice.
Yeah. The second one, it came out way too late. If they brought it a year later, I probably would have played it, but it's been I think it had been 4 years since the first one came out.
At least, yeah, it was quite a while away.
But yeah, I feel like I'm weirdly, it felt like a refreshing take on zombies, even though it was done in the midst of all the zombie stuff happening. I've now come back to it 5 years later, but it felt okay to me. It didn't feel like it was overdone. It was so small, it was right at the end of the game. And it was done in such a way that it didn't go too much into the lore about it. It just said, "Oh yeah, by the way, zombies exist. Here you go." It was done abruptly, but I liked that. I preferred it that way. I think if they made the second game into an all zombie game, it probably wouldn't be very good.
Exactly,
Yeah, I'm
exactly.
glad
And I think it was a risky. I think it was a creative risk as well. I think that
yeah,
some
definitely.
players may have played the zombie twist and been like, "Oh, I don't like this at all. This is horrible."
Yeah, where's my
Um,
big mech boss? I don't get this.
yeah, exactly. Like I just want pure typical standard. Well, standard Wolfenstein, I guess
Mm.
we could say. But yeah, so you enjoyed it then.
I will say, lastly, probably my favorite thing about it was the nightmare levels.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
absolutely love them. I love the fact that you can go back and play the original. That's so cool
Yeah, so
and so satisfying.
there's like levels in each level where I think you sleep on a bedroll or something,
Uh
don't
huh.
you? And you play the original Wolfenstein, but with it's kind of a hybrid. You're
Oh,
like you play
100%.
as a 3D person, but you're in a 2D world.
It's insane. I love it. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, super cool, super cool. One of the best small expansion like games I've played, the Old Blood.
Oh yeah. No, it's a very peculiar game. I'm trying to think what other games that like it, where it's
It,
technically a sequel stroke
yeah,
prequel, but
yeah.
it's a DLC, but also a full game.
I mean, we have lots of expansions like that. You've got Second Son Infamous First Light or
Oh, of
something
course.
like
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Which is an expansion that, like you say, kind of expansion prequel sequel thing. There's definitely that Dead Rising 2 or 3 had the Frank West DLC,
Hmm.
which is kind of standalone. There's definitely those games out there. I think to the scale that you're talking about, less so,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, yeah.
Arguably, Skyrim's DLCs feel standalone sometimes. They're not, but they kind of feel it.
I'm like searching right now. I can't find a single thing of like games that came out as entirely new. I'm actually sort of, like curious what the price was when it first came out. It couldn't have been like the normal amount. It must have been like
I think it was at
£20
least,
or something, right?
yeah, at least 20 quid. I would say.
Okay, I'd be happy
Want
with
to say
20.
20,
I'd be happy with 20.
24 to 28, something like that, I think.
Yeah, if it was at least half price, that'd be good. But
Well, I always buy any digital game on sale, so I
yeah,
just
me
have
too.
no idea the retail prices.
Mm.
Like you might as well. There's so many online sales. Like you literally might as well. And then if you just wait, by the time you finish playing whatever you're playing now, it will have come on sale by then
I'd say the first 6 months of the year are the best time to buy a game because
because of the sale.
you've got January sale, you've got spring sale, you've got March Madness, you've got Easter. Like there's so many in that first 6 months of like we're gonna have a sale on right now.
I agree, but
So
I
many.
find
And they're all
that
so close together.
I find the Halloween Christmas sales are nuts, and then the
Yeah.
New Year's sales are like crazy good.
And then there's usually a summer
Yeah,
sale, and
true.
usually a fall sale or an autumn sale.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. There's almost always a sale on.
Yeah. Don't ever
It's nuts.
look at a game and go, "Oh, I'll come back. Wait for the next sale." Like get it then, because it'll most likely always stay that price at that point.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So you've gone back to the world of Wolfenstein. You feel good. You
Oh,
enjoyed it.
it's so
So
good.
what's it like moving forward? Are you going to play Wolfenstein 2 now?
Yeah, so it'll be New Colossus next, and I probably won't touch Youngblood to be honest.
Yeah,
It does not. I haven't looked too much into it, but isn't it like VR, or am I completely wrong?
maybe, but it's co-op.
Yeah, I think that's the part of it I don't like is the co-op aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, or it did not get good reviews.
No, I'm looking at the reviews now. They're all definitely either like
It was not well
5 out of
received.
10, 6 out of 10, 3.5 out
It's
of 5.
yeah, not good. Not good. One of the reasons that I started playing the new Wolfenstein games is because you rated them highly, and I fancied a first-person shooter that was a little bit different, and it was well regarded, these reboots.
Mm.
So I did the New Order, and I was impressed. Did the old Blood, and I was even more impressed by the twist. So without giving any expectation in either way for the sequel, I'm excited to hear what you think, Jay, and I won't say anything until we talk next, I think, about it.
Yeah, there is something that could potentially get in the way of me playing it though.
What's that?
There's a new game coming out. I'm kind of glad that Square Enix are on a bit of a roll at the minute. It seems.
Yeah.
So they've remade a 23-year-old game called Final Fantasy VII. And now they've
Which
done a
you've completed.
24-year-old game called Trials of Mana, which some people may or may not know. It's quite a famous RPG that only came out in Japan.
I saw the reviews came out the other day, and I did check one out actually.
And they're actually pretty good reviews, and I'm very happy about it because I've been looking forward to this game, and I will probably be playing it tomorrow.
This was the original called Trials of Mana.
Technically, yes. The English translation was Trials of Mana. The original Japanese name was something very complicated.
Sure.
But it's actually the third game in a series of like 5 or 6 games. So. And
what platform was it originally released on?
PS1, I want to say.
Wow. Okay. And what drove them to remake? Was it like the most?
Yeah, out of the 5 or 6 games out of the series, I think this one was the most loved. I want to say. Like how you'd say that 7 is the most loved out of all the Final Fantasies. It's a similar sort of thing.
Okay.
Understood. Because it's made by the same people, I think the first game is actually translated into Final Fantasy Adventures or something, even though it has nothing to do with it.
Got you.
I think it's linked somehow, but not quite. It's actually more. Have you ever played the Dragon Quest games?
No, but I do like the look of them.
In terms of how it looks and plays, it's very similar to that. So I think that's part of the reason why I want to play it as well.
Okay, got you. So that's next on your list before Wolfenstein 2?
I think so. Yeah, annoyingly, but there's also another thing that's going to get in the way of that.
Oh Jesus!
Which is the Borderlands 3 Mayhem Mode 2.0 update, which comes out today at 5 p.m.
Oh, how did you find out the time, Jay? Because I was looking for that yesterday.
Well, it's rumored to be 5. It'll either be 5 or 6 because all the other updates that have come out that are this big. Because there's also a new event, the Cartel event. I think the gang.
Yeah.
All the previous events have all dropped at 5 p.m. UK time.
I'm with you.
So it's possible that it's going to be 5 p.m. I'm hoping it is because then I can give it a go. So.
Yeah, I don't. Great that they're adding Mayhem 2.0. I'm sure it will add some more depth to the game. I won't be playing a harder difficulty than Mayhem 1 by myself.
So I will give you a bit of a tip.
Okay.
Mayhem. It goes up to Mayhem 10 now, right?
Yeah.
And the modifiers have all changed. You don't need to reset your position or location to be able to change the modifiers. You can actually manually re-roll. Huh?
You can do it in the Echo menu now, can't you?
Yeah,
you don't have to go
you can manually re-roll all the modifiers to get
each one.
Yeah, to get. Well, I think it's like all 4 at the same time or all 2 at the same time.
Okay.
But that blows my mind that I can now re-roll for what I want. Like it's going to make things easier and harder at the same time.
Yeah, so you could roll for ones that are in your build's favor.
Yeah, so the way they've done it is every Mayhem mode has an easy modifier, which gives you a beneficial modifier. And then the higher you go up from 1 to 10, the more frequent you get either a medium, a hard, or a very hard modifier.
Okay.
There's actually like a list, but obviously I can't show that, so you have to look at that for yourself. But Mayhem 6 and above is where you get all the special loot. So as long as you stay on 6, you should be fine.
What's the new special loot?
So there's new. I want to say 6 or 8 new legendaries that are available.
Because of this update, because of the cartel.
And I think basically what they said is the higher your Mayhem, the better version of that legendary will drop. So if you get the drop on Mayhem 1, you get like the base level of the legendary. But if you get it on 10, you get the best possible version of that weapon.
Yeah.
So I think that's the plan. I'm going to try and do everything on Mayhem 10 now.
Wow.
I'm going to try and farm some weapons that I like to use, I think.
Do we know how big the update is in terms of gig?
No. I can't imagine it's going to be that big. Probably like, I don't know, 8 gig maybe.
Yeah, I'd say around that.
Between 5 and 10, I want to say.
Considering it's an update.
I mean, it could be less than that. I don't know. It could be 3.
Sure. What? I'm excited. I'm excited for the Cartels event. Actually, what are you going to play the Cartels event or?
I think I will because it's actually around for 6 weeks.
Jesus.
Up until middle of June, I want to say. Or the start of June. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen what the reward. I haven't actually seen what the rewards look like for the challenges, but I'm hoping they're going to look cool enough for me to want to play the thing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there's some. I think there's only certain legendaries you can get as part of the event, so I might try and do that. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
I'll check it out. Try it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely play the Cartels event. I'll play with it until I get bored, probably an hour or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. Well, Jay, I've got some very exciting things to talk about.
Good.
Today.
I want to hear about this.
Very exciting. So last week, I can't remember if I finish Skyrim by the time we recorded.
Yeah, I want to say.
No, I think I was like one achievement away. So I finished Skyrim.
Yeah. Okay.
Skyrim is 100% achievements completed.
That's insane.
The weight has been lifted.
I bet.
Every time I look at Skyrim now, there is no longing. Oh, I wish I'd done. Like, it's done. It's finished. I'm never playing that game again. I mean, I might play it again, but
honestly,
I'm
I
not
think
gonna.
I can safely say I'm never going to finish that game. Like, I know how much it's going to take. And I can't do it. I really can't.
I figured out, Jay, that I put in at least another 100 hours to finish all the achievements.
I'm not doing that. There's no way.
It didn't feel like it. It
never does.
But I put in more time than I thought I did.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, on that game. So I finished Skyrim, and as we've discussed. Fallen Order. And
yes.
Another spoiler warning for a very recent game.
This is a lot more recent,
if you haven't played Fallen Order and you like games or you like Star Wars, skip the video by 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do so. And we won't spoil, we might spoil everything, but we're going to spoil things. So please fast forward if you haven't played it and you're interested in playing it.
You haven't finished it yet then?
I have every achievement on Fallen Order.
Okay, good. It's pretty easy.
I started the game on last Friday or Saturday. It's now Thursday, and I finished it yesterday or the day before.
I think that's about how long it took me, actually, about 4 or 5 days.
Dude, I love this game.
It's good, huh?
Oh,
to be honest, I'm trying to remember, because I played it when it. Actually, no, I think I actually played it before it started this year. But I can't actually remember too much of what went on. I can remember probably quite a bit. You might have to.
Do you mind if you just let me ramble for about 6 to 8 minutes?
Go.
I'm just going to give my thoughts, and then we can discuss it. Okay.
Go.
So, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. A lot of expectation. A lot of people said quite a lot of high things about this game. I left it a few months after release. I'm hoping that all the bugs and things were fixed by the time I played it. I was wrong. We'll talk about that later.
Oh.
So I start playing the game. I know it's a third-person action game. I've seen a trailer. I've seen the first gameplay reveal. I didn't want to look at anything else. The combat looked a bit interesting when we first saw it in the E3 reveal. But so you start on this scavenger planet. I can't remember the name. And it's basically the Empire breaking down all of the ships that were destroyed during the Clone Wars. And I was like, this is awesome. And you play as Cal Kestis, and he's like a Jedi in hiding on this planet. And the Empire, story, Empire finds him. He's got to fulfill his destiny, all that good stuff. And there is about 4 or 5 planets that you explore. And I loved every planet. I loved the new planets. I loved the enemies. And I love the combat and exploration. In short, for me, it fulfills that God of War hole of being a narrative type Metroidvania type third person action game, but with the combat of Dark Souls. And I'm not afraid to say that because I know that a lot of people, perhaps me and Jay included, we do escape that. Oh, it's got that Dark Souls element. But to be honest with you, if the influence is there, it's there. You can't deny it. So that is a massive emphasis on the combat, which really surprised me. I heard whispers that this kind of combat was difficult, and I guessed it would be similar to that from the E3 reveal. But after playing it, I'm very surprised by how similar it is, to the point where there's meditation points which respawn the enemies, refill your health. So that was a surprise to me, but I think it works in the game's favor. The way the game's designed is it does feel like it was designed to get the most out of the player for the minimum amount of content, and I'll explain what I mean. There's a lot of backtracking because it is a Metroidvania, and there's a lot of collectibles to get, which is great. I love it. But it does mean that the level designers haven't got to design new areas. Like, they do design little new areas, but they haven't got to do 10 planets. They've only got to do 5, because you're going back to these different planets and exploring different bits for story points and for collectibles. Secondly, the combat is designed so it is difficult. I completed it on Jedi Master because I am a Jedi Master, and that's the second hardest difficulty. And the combat is designed to be difficult and to slow the player down and to take time. And that, while that does help you appreciate every enemy, and killing stormtroopers never gets old. Everything, like, the stormtroopers look great, the scenery looks great, and the combat being hard means that you appreciate every encounter and it feels special. And it fulfills that hole which I had with the Dark Souls series, which is that it's not fun, it's not fast enough. Playing with a lightsaber and it being a bit more faster and way easier compared to the Soul series completely solves that problem for me. I never found it too difficult. I liked respawning and trying to kill these bosses. I never considered turning down the difficulty. I knew that I just had to get better. And I think that's a testament to how the combat is designed. Deflecting a blaster bolt from a stormtrooper was a 10 out of 10 feeling every single time. And like turning on your lightsaber, being able to control a lightsaber was 10 out of 10 every time. It was perfect. Now, the story elements, I think by the time the ending hit, I was involved with the characters and I appreciate the characters and I like the characters quite a bit. I don't think the story is necessarily a 10 out of 10 well-written game or characters per se. I had some issues with how some of the lines were delivered, how some of the lines were written. However, I think it ultimately delivers on liking the characters and delivering a really good Star Wars story. I don't think it's up there, but I think, to be blunt about it, there will be a sequel. I'll be shocked if there isn't a sequel. And I think this game will be perfected by the second or third game in this series. And I think that they will improve on the story. I don't think Respawn has been known for their stories. They've been known for their triple A qualities, 10 out of 10 A star gameplay mechanics. And I think that they deliver on that aspect here. Aside from, and I have to emphasize this, the numerous amount of game-breaking bugs and glitches that I encountered while playing this game. 4 months from launch, if not 5. At multiple occasions, 2 occasions, I fell through the map, didn't stop falling. That was late in the game. That was after I finished the main story and I was mopping up collectibles. I had texture pop-ins real bad. I looked online for some solutions and it said uninstall some games that you're not playing on your internal hard drive and hopefully that will help load it. I did reluctantly because I don't actually have that much on my hard drive. I had about 100 gigs free while I'm playing through the game and it had issues even then. So I uninstalled Borderlands 3, which, again, inconveniences. I've now got to reinstall it for this new update. And it did seem to help the texture pop in. I had loading issues. The loading screens are too long. They're like at least 30 seconds. They're really long. There's a bit in the game which, you drive, you go to Kashyyyk, you land, you're climbing on this AT-AT with the vines as it's approaching this rebellion in the water, and it is like incredible moment. So I get in the AT-AT, it controls beautifully. I'm like, this is unbelievably good. And then Forrest Whitaker's character just comes on the screen out of nowhere because of he didn't load in properly, and I was like, well, that's just completely taken me out of this game. And I am trying to just dive my entire mind into this game, and him just coming out of nowhere, like as in I didn't see him swing onto my screen. He just appeared because of the loading issues, took me out. And there was a couple occasions like that, and that breaks my heart because aside from that, the game is doing everything it does so well. And I think I'll finish with the ending to the game. Again, spoiler, please skip if you haven't played. I'm giving you a last chance. Darth Vader appears at the end. It is one of the best moments I have ever played in a video game. You're at the end and you're about to see this climax between this master and this apprentice. And then unbelievably, I hear Darth Vader's breathing and I'm like, no way. No way. And my eyes light up. I've got chills. I've got chills talking about it. And you see the lightsaber and I'm like, no way. And then you just see him completely tear apart this Imperial base. He has never felt so powerful. They completely they fulfill the fact that he is the most powerful Force user on the planet, in the galaxy, ever. He is tearing apart. He is pushing stormtroopers out of the way. He doesn't care. He wants to kill you, and he's doing everything in his power to do so. And it is one of the best moments in games I've ever played. Well done, Respawn. It was an incredible moment. And again, Respawn is one of the best development studios in gaming right now. They make some of the best, they've made, if not the best first-person mechanics I've ever played. This sequel is going to be better. It's going to be a 10 out of 10. If EA give them enough time and money, which I hope they do. It shocks me that EA have made a statement saying, oh, we appreciate, well, at least rumours that, oh, yeah, the game sold better than we thought or as good as we thought. I'm like, really? A single-player Star Wars game sold well? Who would have thought, apart from every single Star Wars fan on the entire planet? Like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that everyone wants to play a single-player Star Wars game, okay? EA, you have sincerely effed up your Star Wars license. You have cancelled 2 or 3 games, single-player games from Star Wars. They would have all sold above 5 million copies. That I will bet £10 on. Why £10? I haven't got anything else to my name. You've sincerely effed up. This is the course of the right direction. You put the right studio into the right sort of game and they made a great game. Now do the same with BioWare and make Knights of the Old Republic 3 before I kill myself, and make sure that you stay on this course. I love this game. I don't have an issue with the fact I completed it in a few days. It's mainly because I'm off work and I have the time. I really, really enjoyed this game. I think everyone, Star Wars fan, should play it. For what it's worth, I don't think this is worth a worthy statement. I don't like comparing games to this, but if I played this game in 2019, it would have probably been my favourite game of that year. I love this game. Jay, I've said enough. I think I've let you. Yeah. What do you think?
I agree with a lot of what you said, but I actually got quite lucky when it came to playing this game. I didn't experience a single glitch, problem, or anything. I think the only thing that I ever got affected with was probably like one pop-in of like a loading thing, and that was it.
Okay.
I think I just lucked out, to be honest, I want to say.
So I looked up the issues, and first thing I want to say is, again, if Red Dead 2 can run perfectly on my old Xbox One, anything can. Secondly, I think it is, from what I could read online, a console-by-console basis. So some PS4s are going to have issues, so others aren't. My brother didn't have any issues, and you've both played it on PS4, which now makes me think, oh my god, I should have bought an Xbox One X just to play this game. But apparently, people have had issues on PS4 Pro. So I really don't know. And to be honest with you, the game should be, finished enough that I don't encounter these bugs, no matter on what platform you play it on. But I have to say, it does sound like the Xbox version is less stable than the PS4 version. And that makes me very sad, because I then think, well, Xbox, do you want me to sacrifice my investment in your ecosystem and buy these games on PS4 moving forward if that's a more stable platform, if I can rely on the trophy system more, as we talked about last week? Does that mean you want me to play all my third-party games on your system? On PS4? Because I will. If you can't... Go on.
Yeah, no, I think we spoke about it before, didn't we? I think that was actually a big reason as to why I've sort of transferred most of my games now onto PlayStation. It's because whenever I had a problem with a game, it always happened either more often or not at all. Like, it happened more often on Xbox and then not at all on PlayStation. Like, if I get a glitch on PlayStation, I'm so surprised. Like, it's usually the game's fault. It's not usually the console's fault.
Yeah.
Whereas if I get it on Xbox, it usually feels more of like the console's fault. Like, it can't quite keep up.
I know what you're saying. And you've got a PS4 standard model?
Yeah, it was that sort of like special edition one, so I guess it's the more newer one. It's not like Pro or anything. It's like standard, like, normal PS4, but it's a more
like
recent.
a Slim or something. Yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. So I think I agree with you in terms of the being able to run better on PS4. Do you think that it's because game developers are optimizing the PS4 version because they know that at the end of the day, you're looking at triple, if not quadruple, the number of people playing their third-party games on PS4 compared to Xbox?
I mean, that's just, that's definitely a possibility. I doubt it, but it's a possibility. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
I think this is also part of the reason why there's a lot more and better exclusives on PlayStation. Because that people have probably realised this and gone, oh, we could probably get a better... Like, imagine being a game developer and being Xbox exclusive, and then because the game can't run as well on an Xbox versus a PlayStation, you're having more problems with your game. Your game's going to get so much bad of a rap that it's probably actually not going to sell as well. Versus, being PlayStation exclusive, all runs fine. Well, hey, sales are great. Game did a lot better than it should have, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a smart developer, you're probably going to go with PlayStation over Xbox.
Yeah, 100%.
Just a quick little fact thing for you while we're here. Yeah. So, Jedi, do you know the number of how much Jedi Fallen Order has sold?
8 million? At least 8 million?
Yeah, so it's 8 million in January.
Okay.
And they projected 10 million by March, so it's past that point now. So I reckon they're probably somewhere between 8 and 10 million, if not more.
Yeah.
Which is insane. That's so good. You did say a little while ago that EA sort of like mucked up with their license.
Yes, they've had it since about 2013, I think.
I think this has solidified the fact that they might have a chance at doing well with it in the future. Don't you think?
Yes.
Like
I hope so.
If any game proves to the world that EA can actually do something with Star Wars, it's this. If they honestly, I'm the second Jedi Fallen Order is probably gonna sell so well.
Yeah,
like it's gonna do so well.
Yeah, really well. And go on.
It's also probably going to boost the sales more of this one because people who didn't play it initially are going to go, "Oh, people are hyping over this. I've got to go play the first one."
Yeah, probably.
It's gonna do insane for both of them, I reckon.
And the thing that frustrates me, Jay, is that they've had it for this long. How has it taken them till 2019 to know that a single player Star Wars game is going to sell well? And all right, they had some in development, but what I mean is just let them finish the game. You're going to get your money back. If you don't, all right, fine. Maybe there's some real production issues there, perhaps. But the thing that frustrates me is that maybe this game was made under extreme time constraint, which would explain a lot about the game in terms of my issues with the game, with the bugs, the way the game's designed, the way the combat's designed. Maybe I'm being too harsh on the developers here, and that is how the game, the game is intended, and it works. Again, love the game. But what I'm saying is, I think if you look at, if you're behind the scenes and you found out that Fallen Order had to be made within 2 to 3 years, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right, so I have the facts on that. You ready?
Great. Yeah, great.
Yeah, so Jedi Fallen Order was developed or has been in development since 2014.
See, I heard that, and I just couldn't wrap my head around that.
No, I'm that's about right. I'd say between 4 and 5 years to get that quality of a game sounds about right to me.
Fair enough.
Like
Fair enough.
I always compare games to Assassin's Creed. I want to say either the second, probably two, or like Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I seem to remember, or maybe even like Assassin's Creed 1. I seem to remember that one of those games was in development for like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And obviously the quality of it compared to nowadays isn't as good, but for back then, that was about the amount of time you needed to make that quality of a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because obviously the quality has risen, you now need about the same amount of time to make just as good of a game to this quality, right? So I'm kind of like, if anything, like, the one thing I want to say that you could literally tie this whole thing up to, like, compact it onto one nutshell, is literally that the game development scene is a lot like the Hollywood scene, in that the people who own all of this seem to think they can, keep their finger in the pie, as it were. They want to change everything and make it to what they think is good, but they have no idea because they're not the people who make the money for them.
Do you think do you think the publishers do get that involved creatively?
Well, I'm hoping they don't, because if they as Hollywood has suggested previously, is that you get too much involved. If people like that get too involved, they tend to not do as well.
100%.
Like, you need to let creative people be creative. Like, let them do what they need to do. Don't tell them, oh no, you should do this. Don't go with what you've been studying for the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything. Imagine if someone higher up being like, oh yeah, by the way, I have no experience in any of this, but I'm going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But unless they have maybe they think they have experience in it because they've been around for long enough, but they haven't actually done enough or made, anything themselves from the ground up, so they wouldn't know exactly what to say or do, but they think they do because they make a lot of money, because that's what people who make a lot of money do. They think they know everything. But then they end up making a bad product, and it's like, oh, just let creative people be creative and make a good thing, which I think is what Jedi Fallen Order kind of was. I think they just let them go and like, right. I think EA had a bit more of a backseat, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I agree with you. I think when you get studio involvement, you get a product like Suicide Squad, which is one of the worst films I've ever seen. It's clear that
we need to have a talk about that.
Jay, it's a horrendous film.
Yeah.
It's horrendous.
Yeah, we could talk about that off, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll come back to that.
In terms of, you can clearly tell the studio involvement even by the trailers. So it seems more often than not that when the studios do get heavily involved, it seems a worse case scenario.
Do you know what it kind of feels like with this? It feels like that the writing team behind most of the more recent Star Wars had a lot more involvement in this, which is why it's better.
Yes.
Because even though a lot of people don't trust the more recent Star Wars writing team, which I partially don't. I do and I don't, because they've got a lot of good ideas and a lot of bad ideas. But from what they have done out of their good ideas, this is, I think, a good product of that. I think the writing team had a bit more involvement than EA had a bit more involvement in this.
Sure.
EA have really screwed up, I'd say, with Battlefront. In terms of like the
Jay, how is it that the Star Wars Battlefront 2 that is on backwards compatibility on original Xbox, on my Xbox One right now, is more fun than the one that was released in 2017?
I will say the Battlefront is a very good game in terms of like quality of how it looks and plays. It
looks incredible, sounds incredible.
Yeah, they did a lot of good work. You can't deny it's a good game, but
100%. But the one released in like 2005 or whatever it was is just more fun. How is that possible?
That's just nostalgia, I think, at that point.
Dude, I don't know, man. I play it.
I've played Battlefront 2, the older one, recently, and I don't think it doesn't hold up very well.
I don't think it does graphically, but in terms of gameplay and gameplay loop, it
does, but not graphically. Yeah.
I don't know. But sorry, so carry on what you're saying.
Yeah, I think EA have hopefully looked at their previous things and gone, right, we'll actually let the people who write Star Wars have a bit more involvement in this, hopefully.
Yeah.
This is all hearsay at this point, but I'm kind of I'm hoping the next one is equally as good, if not better.
100%. And what were your thoughts on the game, mate? Give me some of your standout, thoughts, takeaways.
Kind of
Did you like the
tell.
characters?
Yeah, I could kind of tell where you were coming from when you were explaining it. You had this very similar type of excitement for it that I did at the time. I think the one thing that I think a lot of Star Wars fans want is let me be a Jedi. Right?
Yes.
That is the one thing that I think every Star Wars fan has in common. Is that
Yeah.
by the way, if you let me be a Jedi and let me control my I mean the fact they let you customize a lightsaber to that degree, my god. Like that is the thing ever since I was like 10 years old that I've always wanted to be able to do. It's just to make my own
100%.
lightsaber. Give me the opportunity to
100%.
make it and make it be my own. Like, oh god, like yeah,
Yep.
literally it was perfect. I think this game you couldn't have improved. Like again, it's one of those things that you couldn't improve on it that much more. To be honest, the only way you could really improve on this game was if it was bigger.
Exactly.
That's literally
If
it.
there was more of what's there.
If there was
Yeah,
more
exactly.
planets, if it, and the one thing I do love about this is it's actually canon.
Yes.
Like this Star Wars story is part of the Star Wars story.
Yes.
And it actually takes place. I don't know. Have you watched The Mandalorian?
I haven't. No.
Okay, it won't spoil anything, but it takes place in between Mandalorian and Episode 9.
This game?
This game, yeah.
No, dude, it's between episode 3 and 4.
No. Jedi Fallen Order happens before. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. It happens before Mandalorian. Yeah, you're right. I read that wrong. So yeah,
Cool.
Jedi Fallen Order takes place 5 years after Anakin becomes Darth Vader. So it's 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. There we go. So it's in between. Right. You're right. It is in between 3 and 4. I read that wrong.
I'm not sure I like Sarah or whatever her name is. Like, and I'm not.
Hang on, I forget names. It's been a while.
She's the main woman who like assists you, and then you've got the small alien guy who I've also forgotten the name of.
Oh, Sid Junda. Yeah, okay.
Sid, yeah. I don't like. I got halfway through the game and I was like, is she cool? Like, do I like this character? I don't know.
Yeah, it took me a little while too. I kind of felt she seemed a bit fishy to me, a bit like she has like an ulterior motive.
Yeah, which I guess she kind of does.
So there was Grieve Dritus.
Yeah, see, he ended up being my favourite. Well, apart from BD1, who is one of the best droids of any Star Wars fiction ever. So
the thing I loved about Grieve is the thing I loved about all the characters in this is you find out so much about their backstory.
Yeah,
like I'd say like loads, like absolutely tons.
Yeah,
I was so happy about that.
Yeah, but I think they do a good job of you feel like you're involved with the characters by the end.
And then there was Night Sister Merrin.
She's really cool.
Who again, like her backstory is brilliant. Like I loved all of it. I'm actually kind of glad they brought in the Night Sisters. I've been waiting for them to bring in the Night Sisters for a long time.
Yeah, that was
Night
awesome.
Sisters have been talked about in a lot of previous Star Wars material in the past, and they've done a lot of detail about it, but there hasn't been a 3D representation like this in a very long time.
Yeah.
Like, they did a lot of the animation in the Rebel stuff, but that was all kind of like, background talk or whatever. So
yeah. It was really cool. If it's all right, Joe, I would like to move on unless you want to say something else about Fallen Order.
No, I think that's it. I just wanted to mention about some more sales of some games for some certain things.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake has now surpassed the highest sales in its opening weekend for PS4 exclusive or PlayStation exclusive.
See, that's shocking because Spider-Man is in that category.
So yeah, it was God of War originally with 3.1 million copies.
Yeah.
And then it was Spider-Man with 3.3.
And Spider-Man went on to sell about like 12 million or something
ridiculous now, but in terms of opening weekend, it was 3.3.
Yeah.
And now Final Fantasy has 3.5 million in 3 days, so open weekend.
I can't see the figures being as high as Spider-Man, though, a long term for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think if you wanted the remake, you would have bought it.
Oh, yeah, no, I kind of agree. I wonder what the sales are now, actually. That'd be really interesting to know. But
definitely really interesting, especially considering so many people wanted it. Are they gonna what would you call it? what would you call it? Like, see where the mouth is? What's the talk where the mouth is?
Money
Put
where
them
the
out.
mouth is?
That's it. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah. So I guess we'll see. And then I finished Fallen Order, so now I am waiting for Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered to come out on Xbox One. Hopefully that has no technical issues. I'm going to go
Waiting for
Duck.
what, sorry?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered
Oh, right.
Campaign.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Waiting for that to come out. I've pre-ordered that. I just treated myself, so I've got that installed, ready to go. I'll play Borderlands 3 DLC, or free update, as we said, and I'm currently doing Red Dead 2. I am back in it. I am 100% going to get all the achievements. It's just a case of how quickly, basically, and the answer to that is not very.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a stressful time, Jay. I won't lie to you. It's I'm having that Dark Souls effect where I'm getting put off because I'm not having, fun in quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
But then I do think that part of completing a game is going through trials and tribulations.
Okay.
So, like, for example, I've played the same mission 4 times trying to get a gold medal, and I've now got to replay it after we finish recording to try and get the gold medal again.
Yeah, so it's starting to become a bit of a like, I don't know if I can do this type of situation.
Yeah, I'm constantly back and forth. I'm constantly like, I can't find this bird. I'm not going to be able to finish this game. And then I find it, and I get like a slither of hope again. And then I get stuck on a mission, and then I do the mission, and then I get another sliver of hope.
Yeah, no, that's kind of where I am with Final Fantasy VII at the minute. We're doing the challenges. I'm just sort of like,
right.
I don't know if I can do this anymore. I've tried it for like too many times for me to like think I'm probably going to improve anymore.
Yeah,
which is a bit of a bummer, really. And I can see
so
how it would
have you
be for
finished
you.
that now? Like,
No.
have you finished?
Oh, you mean like not going to do it anymore? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to come back to that. I don't think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you, Jared, I know because we talked about it, but we forgot to mention you finished Final Fantasy 13.
Yes.
Applause, everyone! Applause.
Yes.
You finally finished that. It only took you 11 years.
Yeah, it took me 11 years and 37 hours or so.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was more than Final Fantasy 15. I can't remember how long it took me to do 15 now. Is that 41 hours? I can't remember now.
I think you said about 47 hours.
I think it was 41, but then I did 47 because I like grinded some more. But yeah, I think it took me about 37 hours to do this, and then I did a lot of grinding after the fact to see how many more trophies or achievements I could get, and put another 10 hours in. So yeah.
So, sorry, how many hours was it?
So 37 to complete, but about 47 at the minute, just because I've done a lot of grinding.
Have you finished with the grinding as well, or?
No, I'm at a point now where I have to kill a certain boss to have it drop an item that will allow me to get double experience. But I can't kill it. It's taken me a while.
Is it the cactus?
No, it's something called. I can't remember what it's called now. It's the one that drops it's mission 55, and it drops something called the growth egg.
Got you.
Yeah. So once I get that, I can start getting double experience, which is nice.
Just a quick one, Joe. Going back to Wolfenstein, what difficulty do you play on? Because I find the game stupidly hard, so I just play the easiest one.
I did it on normal.
Okay, fair.
I think I played the first one. I played New Order on easy. I played this Old Blood on normal, but I'm probably going to play the Colossus probably on easy as well, because it actually did get hard. Even on normal, I was like, this is a bit annoying.
Yeah, so to give you a bit of an idea, Jay, on the sequel, Mein Leben difficulty, which is the highest difficulty on the game, 0.01 people played this game and got that achievement for finishing the game on that difficulty.
Well, I don't know if this will have the same thing, but both the New Order and Old Blood have a glitch where if you play the last chapter on the highest difficulty, it counts as the whole game.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Which I did on the first game, which is why I think I got 100% on that game.
See, do you know what happened for me on that game? I did half the game on. No, not half. I did like 3 or 4 chapters on the hardest difficulty, and I got sick of it, so I went to like normal or whatever, and the hardest difficulty one popped.
Yeah.
I thought that's incredible. I was like, oh, thank you very much.
So
It's like the opposite a glitch.
I don't know if they've patched it out of the second one though. There's definitely a chance they have. So once I look at the trophy roadmap, I'll have to let you know about that.
Okay, yeah, please do, mate.
Yeah,
please do.
I didn't really want to have to do it for this Old Blood though. I could have done it by now, but I can't be asked. So even though it's like very short of a chapter, I just didn't want to have to go back and do it again.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I'm just looking at Wolfenstein 2 achievements that I never got, so I might actually go back myself and do a bit of a
it's if that is the part, then you only have to do the last bit or the last possible mission on the hardest difficulty.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't think that you can do that because then more players would have had that achievement.
Yeah, you're probably right. Either that, or they don't know about it. I don't know.
Well, they don't know
I
about
will
it.
say that both New Order and Old Blood had the end game bosses. I don't know why this is the thing, but there's always one position if you stand in, you can defeat the boss without ever getting hit.
In both games?
Yeah, both games, which is how I finished the first one.
Huh.
And how I did the second one as well. I sort of stood in this one place and just shot from there. I was like, I didn't get hit once. That's cool.
As in the Old Blood?
Yeah.
Got you.
I don't know why, but people always seem to find them somehow. So whether that's the same in the second one, I don't know. I have to find out.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Jay, it's time for breaking news. Breaking news. Jay and Nick have like important things to discuss.
It could be like an Anchorman type situation.
I did that. Yeah, I think I did a bit of that last week.
Like,
okay, so
good morning, San Diego.
Oh yeah, good morning, Hales Owen, or good afternoon.
Wow.
In sunny West Midlands. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna, quick news story for me this week. So Jason Schreier from Kotaku, he has left Kotaku.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone to Bloomberg. He is, I would say, the number one games journalist right now in the industry in terms of being able to uncover stories and revelations behind the scenes. I think he knows more contacts than anyone else. So he's moved to Bloomberg. Basically, you can go read his post, but something happened with Kotaku's parent company last year and they fired someone, which made him want to move on, essentially. So he's moved to Bloomberg now. So we'll see what else he does. But I thought it would be worthy to just bring that up and, discuss his move, I guess. It's, I wasn't expecting it, but obviously he's had this in mind for a while now. So, yeah. Jay, I'm sure you've read some Jason Schreier articles, haven't you, over the years?
Well, that's the thing, like, how do I explain it? There's sort of like a community on the internet who find a lot of games journalism to be quite difficult to read or think is fact or think is like good enough to be worthy of being around, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like necessarily agree with these people, but it's sort of like given me this sort of like almost a bit of a barrier between reading certain things nowadays.
In terms of you trying to cut down the opinion bias,
Yeah, I
political
think that's
pieces.
what it is. It's like even with like people like IGN, the opinions I hear of some of these people are insane to me.
I completely agree.
Like it's kind of like, how could this person be allowed to write this on the internet? Like how is this possible? Like, you know.
So I think that in a jokey way. So, for example, if someone thinks that, you know, Super Mario Odyssey is the best Mario game, I'm like, well, all right, let me rephrase that. If any Mario game is a 10 out of 10, you know, I laugh. But then I think there's a serious side which you're talking about, which is like some absolutely ludicrous headlines, such as how, you know, a recent Dead or Alive game is no, that's an obvious example. I think that's right. That's right. Do you remember when Kingdom Come Deliverance came out?
Mm-hmm.
There were some gaming journalists out there who decided to write about how historically inaccurate it was and racist and stuff. And for me, one, like, they're hit pieces, and two, for me, it's a case of, is that really the type of content you want to produce and publish? And do you think that's going to make the world a better place? Is what I'm. Obviously, they do. I guess that's why they publish it.
I agree.
But I have to question that. What did you have some in mind, Jay? Not like persons in articles per se, but
no
perhaps,
real. I mean, there's probably I think the biggest thing for me is the sort of the PC brigade, as it were.
Yeah.
Like people nowadays, especially in games journalism, tend to skew their opinions or the things they write about towards, well, is this game racist and how can I bash it? Right?
Yeah.
Is this game too sexual and how can I bash it? Is it too sexual because of this and how can I, you know? I think a lot of it, it's weird. Like, it's almost like people feel the need to protect other people from
themselves.
Art, right? There's a very fine line between artistic, you know, decisions and something being blatantly either racist or sexist or whatever, right? I can't imagine a developer of a game being like, right, I'm sexist, I'm racist. How can I make this game, you know, show that me, this one developer, how can I show that, you know, I'm this, right? I don't think you'd ever want to out yourself too much, that sort of thing, right? So I think when anyone does anything that may be perceived as such, it's an artist. It must it seems like an artistic choice, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of artistic choices are usually made either because they are in themselves part of the story, the lore, the history, you know, any of that kind of stuff, or the aesthetic of a game. And it can also be about how people want how the developers want the audience to perceive the game in such a way they want to buy it more. So as we all know, sex sells. So, you know, anything sexual is going to be, especially for this community, because this community is mainly men between 18 and 40, probably, right?
If not younger,
and if not older, right? It's usually men. I'd say that the large audience of gaming is that of, you know, those kind of people.
But Jay, are you saying that women can't game? Oh my god!
I know, right? And that's what annoys me, is that me saying that, someone would take that clip and be like, "This guy's sexist. How can he say this shit?" Like, you didn't let me finish, okay? And also you took me out of context, because I would have obviously they wouldn't have included the part where I said the majority, right? And there's definitely been a massive sway in the audience and the consumers of gaming, because there's a hell of a lot of women that game. And I'm not saying there isn't, and I'm glad they do, because without them, the game industry probably wouldn't, you know, do as well. Because you know, we need the money because they make better games and better content for us to play in the future anyway.
And you know, it's funny, Jay. It's funny because you could argue the sexualization of women in games comes from the women themselves. When I see 30 women streamers in the most ridiculous clothes wear you've ever seen, and then I sell another, like, what is it, 21-year-old Japan girl selling bathwater. Like, come on, you know?
Yep.
It's
all part of that. It's definitely all part of that.
Fascinating. I have to question people's lives and how bored they are to actively go out and try and
That's the thing.
assassinate
I don't
people.
think it is. I think it's an echo chamber. It must be, right? Like their group
It
of
must be.
friends are
It
all
must
part
be.
of a community that think it's okay to bash people because of their opinion.
Yeah.
You know, even things that aren't an opinion on them being blatantly racist or blatantly sexist. They're obviously it's all about intent. It really is. Like they themselves know they aren't, but it's so easy to call someone those things and try to prove it when you can't. It's a lot of the time you can't disprove them because you just can't. It's all hearsay. It's all he said, she said, or you can only believe the people who it's coming from their mouth, and they can lie about whether they are or they aren't. So,
and I don't know the problem anyway, right? So like everyone's like, "Oh, Dead or Alive is horrible." It's like
fan service, man. It's all about the fan service. I love it.
I don't mind it. Like, it's it's funny. It's
one of the biggest arguments I've heard is, well, where are her organs? Have you heard this?
I don't get what you mean.
Right. Okay.
No.
So a lot of the time that you see drawn or animated female characters that are over sexualized, they usually got the tiniest waist, right?
Sure.
And the largest chest and the largest butt.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, well, where's her organs? Why is her waist that small and how can her organs fit in that body? She's an animated character. She's a 2D. She's made up of ones and zeros. Right? And then their argument is, well, what about the girls who are going to play this game and look at that body and think, well, I want that body? And it's like, well, nobody can have that body because it's impossible to get that body. So why would you want to try and get it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could say the same for men. The amount of like ripped guys in games like Bulletstorm or Gears, like these guys with massive chests. And you think there's one man in the whole of Earth who looks like that, and his name is the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
So true.
He's the only man alive who looks like that.
I think it's important that we space ourselves from social media, from images of how we should look, and that comes down to the individual.
And I will say, there's also a lot of women who do the exact same thing, who over-sexualize men in games. Yeah. And think, oh, I'd love a guy like that, when in reality, like, there's no guy who could ever be like that.
Yeah,
like there's unrealistic standards on both sides. It's a double-edged sword. It really is.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm sure that
nobody is in real life being like, I will settle for nothing less than perfection. Nobody is doing that.
Well, if they are, they're probably not a very nice person.
Exactly. So why would you then from that point you then wouldn't bother with that person, would you?
Correct.
So,
correct.
You just you don't need to think that everything is set in stone like that.
I want to talk about, Jay, a personal experience or experiences that I had at uni with you. So I was part of the gaming writing section for our university student newspaper.
Yes.
And it was like some of the best work ever. It was really fun. And I got on along with everyone there, I think. But there genuinely was an overarching, I don't know how to say it apart from virtue judgment of kind of getting on the bandwagon of any type of this kind of art, like article writing. So some people,
clicks, right?
Well, no, it was all about the opinion. It was all about the judgment. It was like, so like, for example, when the Kingdom Come Deliverance thing happened, it was kind of like, I'm not going to have a rational debate with you about this. I think this is terrible. I think this is wrong. And you're going to listen or you're going to be quiet because I'm going to judge you for it.
Yeah, see, that's not how people should be. That's not how people should live their lives.
And maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe, I'm interpreting the situation wrong. But it was kind of a case of like, if there were disagreements, it would probably be because I wasn't supporting, or they didn't think I was supporting whatever their campaign was. But I was actually defending, free artistic expression, but they'll 100%. Never see that.
No, because they think that the work, that animation, I mean, they definitely have a point, which is what this kind of all comes back to in terms of like the influence of media, right? of like entertainment. Like there's people who can be influenced by the. I mean, even though I hate this, violence in video games is a big one that it always comes back to. And people always think that these shooters, shoot up scores because they've seen violence in a video game, right? Which, in my opinion, is that there must be some level of influence there. Just like there can't not be in certain situations. In terms of like, I'm trying to think of like my own experience where I could definitely say this about like songs that I've heard, right? Like there's certain songs that make me feel a certain way, but I don't know if they'd ever make me do something, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had that before, where like you've played a video game and gone, oh, I'll go shoot up this place.
Yeah, I've got to say, Jay, I've never
had that, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
A lot of this comes back to that because a lot of people are worried that certain things in video games or any type of media is going to influence people to do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
I think, if anything, we can kind of feel bad for these people who want to feel like they need to protect other people from certain things. I feel bad for people who argue that games shouldn't exist or like certain artistic expression shouldn't happen, because I get where they're coming from. They care, obviously.
They think they're doing good. Yeah,
they think they're doing good, but if anything, they're just making it. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like want to agree with them, but kind of don't at the same time. Like, I kind of want to. I don't know if there's any like real evidence that supports what they're saying. That's the thing.
Yeah, and it like you said, it becomes an echo chamber, and I felt personally extremely judged at certain points because of my political and or gaming, artistic expression point of views, and that's sad, isn't it?
I think if you can agree to disagree with someone, it's okay. But if you can only disagree with someone and not see it from any side other than their own, then that's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And I'll always try and see a person's point of view. I actually think I'm fairly good at it.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten better at it. I didn't used to, but I used to think that my opinion was final. When you're young, you think everything you say is right because you felt it, right? Oh, I had this feeling.
Yeah.
It must be right, but no, that doesn't mean anything now.
Yeah, 100%.
Things can change so quickly. So.
100%. Yeah. Well, that's a nice little section.
That's
we can leave
tangent from that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move on. CD Projekt Red, creators of Cyberpunk 2077, have announced a Xbox One X exclusive console with controller.
I'm annoyed about this.
Yeah, so Jay, just give me your thoughts, man.
I'm annoyed because I don't want to buy this, even though I want to buy it at the same time.
Yeah,
I
know exactly what you mean.
I want to have it because it's exclusive, but I don't want to buy it because I've already got one. I don't want to spend the money because I'm probably going to be getting a new Xbox X, Series X in the future. So why would they want? Oh, I don't get this.
It's got to be marketing. It has to be.
It's only marketed towards people who don't own an Xbox right now, but who are looking forward to Cyberpunk and like, right, I need to get an Xbox in time for it.
But who also aren't going to get the next Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Like this probably is going to sell fairly well.
That's a pretty niche market, isn't it?
It sounds pretty niche, though. I mean, they must have done their research, though. They must have done.
Well, that's true.
They wouldn't
You're
have
right.
this happen unless they knew that it was going to sell. At least, they have people who predict these type of things, don't they?
I disagree with one thing, though. I don't think it looks cool.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, it looks okay, but I think if you'd shown me this 5 years ago, I would have been pretty excited about it. But seeing it now, I'm kind of like, oh, it's a bit now.
Yeah, I think me and you are past a point in our lives where, certain things look cool or whatever. Mm. Like, I look at this now and I think, 15-year-old Nick would have loved this, but I'm not 15-year-old Nick anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it matches the theme of the game and all that stuff. But when you look at it from a piece of from an item placed in your home, from a fitting point of view, from a I own this item, I own this product point of view, and how it matches everything, I think it looks dead ugly.
See, it says it's coming June 2020, but that can't be right because the game doesn't come out until September. So, I mean, I think this probably means that it's probably available for purchase, like pre-order, right?
Or you get a code and you just get the game whenever it comes out, I guess.
Yeah, something like that, probably. I mean, I'm kind of hoping they do this for the new Xbox.
Yes, that would be better.
I'm looking at the design right now. I think it actually looks pretty cool. The controller is probably the best thing about it, actually.
I agree with that.
Right?
I agree with that. Yeah.
If they did the console on the same design as either the controller or the console is now, I wouldn't mind. And if they did that
Yeah.
with the new Xbox, I'd buy that 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like I think it does look cool. Like it doesn't look as this would have looked cooler 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I
Agreed.
kind of think the console definitely could have been better. The console
Is it me, Jay, or is there a complete lack right now, both PS4 and Xbox, of good-looking limited edition consoles?
I mean, I have one, but it was only because I needed
What
a
have you
new
got?
one. I've got the 25-year anniversary PlayStation, I want to say.
Oh, that is literally the best one.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool. It's like gold and blue, but it was more about timing than anything else. I didn't buy it because of how it looked. I bought it because it was actually, I think, the cheapest. Weirdly, it was like it cost as much as a new PlayStation, but
Yeah,
it was
that's
better
right. I
because it had
think
a different color to it. So I was like, oh, I might
yes.
as well get that anyway because it looks
And
cool.
doesn't the box and everything look unbelievably good?
Yeah, it does. I've still got it. It's hanging
Yeah.
about, but yeah.
In terms of like Gears consoles, Cyberpunk, whatever, and Star Wars ones for PS4,
See,
I just think they all look so ugly, dude.
if both the controller and the console looked like this, but it was actually like painted and was like solid plastic color, I'd be impressed. But if it was sticker, I'd be annoyed.
Do you think it might be sticker?
I hope it isn't because I've never had. I mean, other than the PS I've got now, isn't a sticker. It's all the coloured plastic.
No, I think it is
But
colored
this
plastic.
looks
Mate.
like a sticker, and that's what annoys me about it. It looks more like
it's got to be printed.
Yeah, it's got to be like fully on there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
If it's fully on there, I'll be more impressed by it. But the controller definitely has to be because if it was a sticker, it would rub and look weird.
Yeah,
I'm hoping they do something like this, similar to this, for both the PlayStation and or the Xbox. Like
yeah, I'm excited to.
consoles.
Jay, what in terms of so first of all, isn't it the case that usually at the start of a new generation they won't release limited edition consoles because they want the normal one to sell, sort of thing?
That's what annoys me about it. Is that yes, that's probably more likely to happen. That we're not actually going to get a special limited edition looking one. I mean, like they did with the first Xbox One, they'll probably have a day one version.
Yeah, sure,
something similar to that. And
yeah.
I don't know if they have. They didn't have a day one version for PS4, did they?
Don't think so.
No,
Doesn't that seem like the peak of hype culture of enticing
limited
people?
Edition, dude, deluxe edition, like first class, like all these different names you get for different editions. That makes me want to buy it so much more.
At least you acknowledge that their power.
Oh, dude, that power works every time. Honestly, if a game comes out and it doesn't have a deluxe edition, I'm actually more disappointed about it.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
So every game you buy is like deluxe edition?
I'd say most of the time.
Wow.
I bought the special Final Fantasy. I bought the special Fallout New Vegas. Which other special? I bought the special Overwatch, The Division, the first one. I bought the special of those.
Interesting.
I need to send you a picture because it's actually pretty impressive, the boxes they came in.
Do it. See, it's funny because I'm the opposite. I only buy normal editions.
I can't remember actually the last time I bought a normal edition of a game.
Final Fantasy 15?
No, that was like a special. That was Royal Edition.
Oh, fair.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it just makes. I don't know. It is obviously more money, but you do get things with it. Things that are somewhat cool, usually exclusive, and that you can't ever buy ever again.
True.
I don't know. It makes it special. I think it just makes it special.
And Jay, moving on to things that are special.
Oh.
Bethesda games are very special to both of us. And you have rightfully pointed out that this week there is rumours that from IGN that Elder Scrolls 6 has began actual production.
Yeah, so like with a lot of things that have happened in the past, it's a job listing essentially, right?
Okay.
So someone at IGN has found.
Who is it? Do you know?
Let's have a look. Andrew Smith.
Thank you. What very standard name.
Very standard.
Very standard.
That someone on I think actually it might be someone on Reddit, maybe not. Yeah, someone on Reddit said that they were wrapping up development of Starfield. I can't remember
Really?
what Starfield was.
Their original IP sci-fi
There
game.
we go. Yeah, which I still don't know too much about, but it does look good.
We know nothing apart from a logo.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's even a logo. It's literally like a floating space,
Yeah.
like a almost like an ISS type thing, where it's got like
Oh
solar
yeah,
panels
they
on
did
it.
release an image or something, didn't they?
Yeah, there's an
Yeah,
image. Yeah.
yeah. No, I correct myself. We know it's single player
Oh,
Bethesda
you're right.
game.
There is a logo as well. I see the logo.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we've got an image and a logo. I
Honestly,
think.
since Fallout 76, I've sort of lost faith in Bethesda a little bit.
Agreed.
So I'm hoping that this is being made by them, but they're actually going to do. They're going to take the time and actually bloody do a good job on it. I really hope it's going to be good.
Well, here's the thing, Jay. Okay, I'll be meaning to talk about this. Sorry to distract you.
No, this is good.
So let's break it down, right? Bethesda have become one of the biggest game studios on the planet. They have released some of the biggest games, if not the biggest games in the world. Okay,
Yeah.
so not by sales, by kind of cultural, impact and sales. So they've grown to 3 different studios. Okay, so these studio has 3 different studios. Okay, and they made another one for their mobile games, which they're cracking on with. And to be fair, they look like they're doing success with them, which is great. I hope they make really good mobile games. And that studio, I think, also helped with a lot of the initial development of Fallout 76. Now, my question to you, Jay, is one. If, let's say, they started minimum 2015, that means they had 3 years to make this game. A lot of the mechanics and things are already there from Fallout 4. So, to me, 3 years, all right, first time making a big multiplayer game, fair enough. Maybe they needed 4. But 3 years seems like enough to make the game, so to speak, okay? Moreover, if you look at interviews from E3, the year that Fallout 76 was going to come out, 2018, Todd Howard repeatedly says, basically everyone in the entire office studio is working on Fallout 76 right now. So what it sounds like to me, connecting very, very loose dots, is that either the game was being developed, it wasn't perhaps coming up to scratch. They put everyone on it the last 6 months, the last year of the production and development, and tried to get as much done as humanly possible. But even with 3 studios worth of people, you would have thought the game would have come out to a okay degree, I guess. But to be fair, they have updated it. They have put in free updates and cost and season pass costs, which are ridiculous, by the way. And the game does seem fairly fixed right now. So my question is, maybe Fallout 76 is an okay game, is actually a good, if not great game. Yeah. So why should we doubt them when they're going to have enough time and money to make this game? So hopefully Bethesda, or ZeniMax, their publishing, head, hopefully they don't rush them. They know that Fallout 76 was rushed perhaps and they needed more time. My question to you is twofold. One, does that mean we don't have to worry about Starfield? 2, why do you think they were rushed for Fallout 76 in the first place, if they were?
Okay, so what was the first one? It was
should we be worried about Starfield?
I think it's a 50-50, isn't it? Because Bethesda I'm now looking through their catalog of all their studios, and they did Doom Eternal, they did all the Doom games, they did the Wolfenstein games, they did Prey, which came out recently, and they did Evil Within, which actually was probably one of my favorite horror games of the last 10 years. And then they did all the Fallouts and the Oblivions, right? All the Elder Scrolls.
So yeah, but that's Bethesda Publishing. So Bethesda published all those, but the in-house developers that we know and love from the games that we love have done Oblivion, Fallout 3, Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, alongside some mobile games and stuff like that.
Fallout Shelter, right? That's probably
Fallout Shelter, Elder Scrolls Blades.
So the ones that have made the bad game, I'd probably say. Even Prey was actually a good game. I think a lot of people bashed that, even though.
I think it was a good game.
Well. I don't think we should worry. I think they've got enough of a portfolio here for us to be impressed by what they can do. It's just what they do with it. I think is the at the end of the day, it literally is. Well, how does this overall? Like, how is this game? To you? I guess it could also be like, how is this game to you? Because obviously, there's a lot of people out there whose favorite game is Fallout 76 and will always be Fallout 76. Yeah, no, I don't think we should worry. I think Elder Scrolls 6, I think, is probably the main thing. But if Starfield is going to be like, I don't even know what Starfield is.
We don't.
It looks to me, if it's anything to do with space, I mean, it could be. It could be like, is it going to be like Fallout? Do we have to compare everything to Fallout when it comes to Bethesda nowadays?
In terms of
the
way it plays,
to do that? Like, is it fair to compare new IPs that we have no idea about to things that Bethesda have done previously?
I think it's fair to compare the type of game it's going to be.
Completely different to anything that they've ever done. We don't know. It's
true, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah, it probably won't, because most developers usually stick to what they know.
Yeah.
I mean, we have had. I'm pretty sure we've had games though that have been done by developers that have been nothing like their previous one and have just done so well.
Guerrilla Games developing Horizon Zero Dawn, an open world game, previously developing Killzone, a first person shooter.
Yeah, Killzone wasn't great, was it?
No, I hear it wasn't. But Horizon's arguably
one of the best ones of the last decade.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is kind of what I'm hoping Bethesda can pull out of their butt at this point.
Yeah, it's funny because
like they've had. Yeah, I mean they've done well, but I don't know. I'm hoping Starfield is something that's like so fresh and new that they won't. That Fallout and everything like that won't even be in the conversation. Like, I'm hoping that they won't even come up. That it'll just be so new and fresh that we'll have no need to even mention anything they've done before.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think there's a few things to talk about here. Firstly, it's funny that one studio has a significant, bad launch over the last, say, 20 years, and people doubt them immediately. And you think, well, guys, it happened once. Like.
That's the problem. If it can happen once, it can happen again. And usually, if it happens once, the next one's going to be just as bad, if not worse.
Well, no, but here's the thing, right?
People can stumble, right? They can go on tilt. They can be like, "Oh no, we've done bad. We'll try and do better," but they do just as bad because they didn't have the confidence in themselves.
Sure, but my point is but more's gone right than gone bad. Maybe some people argue differently. Like maybe, so I think the people who are doubting them, I think they look at Fallout 4 not being as good as The Witcher 3. I think they look at their trajectory and think, well, they've been doing worse and worse since Skyrim. You might argue. I look at it as, okay, they had a bad online, attempt. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Their mobile games, though mobile, they seem to be doing well. And Blades looks like it could develop the mobile genre, I hope. I think we shouldn't doubt their single-player RPG capabilities.
Definitely not. They're good at.
Especially someone who's just played Skyrim and being reminded of just how good those games are. I think that we should give them the benefit of the doubt and we should feel good about this game. I think there's more to love than not to love, and I think some people look at Fallout 4 and go like, "Was 4 that good?" Or it absolutely was.
It made so many improvements on 3. You could say that Fallout 4 is a better version of 3, but then a lot of people would say that Fallout 3 is better just because of the nostalgia of it, right?
Exactly. I asked my brother,
Fallout 4 is better than 3 on paper. It is an improved version of 3. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly what I was going to say. So my brother's favorite game is Fallout 3 of all time. Okay,
yeah, it's
Fallout 3. And funny story, actually, how I introduced him to the game. But his favorite game is Fallout 3. So I rang him up after I finished Fallout 4, and I was like, "Oh yeah, so which one do you think's better?" And he's like, "Fallout 4." And I was like, "Fallout 3 is your favorite game?" And he's like, "Yeah, but Fallout 4 is a better game."
Yes,
it was out like 6-7 years later. Of course, it's going to be a better game. Yeah, like the shooting's better, the stories. Exactly.
Yeah. To be honest, I think a lot of game journalists don't look at that. They don't compare things like that, do they?
No,
they sort of look at a game and go, "Oh, well, it's not that good." They don't look at it and go, "Well, it's just a better version of one that's already come out, which is what they should have done. They should have gone, oh yeah, it's just better a version of what's already happened.
And like you say, like you have to incorporate the nostalgia factor,
Yeah,
which,
that's so big
by
of
the
a
way,
factor.
like lots of gaming journalists do not.
I
Okay?
would say a lot of them probably don't mention it, but I reckon a lot of their opinions are based on the nostalgia factor nowadays.
Mate, the next time you see a Mario game get a 10, I'll bring up this conversation.
Same with Zelda as well. Every Zelda game is more likely
Dude,
to get
a new
higher.
Animal Crossing came out. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, right. What does it do that's new? Yeah, it's just more Animal Crossing. I was like, right.
More of the same thing.
Great.
Review on Animal Crossing, was it high or was it 10 out of 10?
Mate.
Tell you what, I bet a large part of the review of Animal Crossing was because of how much traction it's gotten over the last month.
Well, to be fair, everyone, having a lot of time on their hands helps.
Yeah, like literally, I think everyone like that. I will say also that special edition Switch that came out probably helped too.
Definitely.
I'd probably say a lot more females have bought Animal Crossing and have made it this big. That's, again, we can bring that back to females having an impact on the gaming industry. I'd say that Animal Crossing is definitely marketed more towards the female audience, 100%. Just how cutesy it is, right? How like pastel and the characters and how it all plays out, 100%. It's definitely more targeted towards that. So if it wasn't for them, this thing wouldn't have blown up as much.
100%.
But it's a good thing that it has done this well, because it means that the developers of Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, no, congrats to them, man.
Yeah, there's literally no bad blood anywhere. Like any developer that makes a game should never be told that they've made a bad game and that they should stop what they're doing. Improve, learn from your mistakes, and keep going. Obviously,
100%.
Obviously, doesn't matter how well or how bad you've done. You always keep going. Always keep going forward.
I like that, mate. I like that.
Always.
Jay, I know Metacritic is not the be all end all, and we should admit that.
No,
however,
it's a good base. It's a good,
the disparaging, or is that the right word? Disparages between user score and Metacritic score is getting bigger and bigger every year.
You can say the same for movies, dude.
100%. 100%.
I love it. I do love it. I laugh sometimes, man.
Dude, it's like music.
You can just tell.
I never, ever, ever look up album reviews, but if I do, they're literally the opposite.
Album reviews shouldn't exist, which is part.
I so agree.
The thing is that you could also say the same about movie reviews and or game reviews.
But music seems so much more subjective to me,
Yeah, but the thing is, you can compare music to any other media. Right? Any other source of entertainment.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's so easy to go, because at the end of the day, it literally just is personal opinion. Any amount of media that anyone sees ever in their life is down to personal opinion. It doesn't matter. I mean, like when it comes to films, you can critique things because of the cinematography, the writing, the script writing, all that stuff. That makes sense to me. Whereas you can't do that with music as much, and you can't do that with video games as much. Like there's a level of things that there's only certain things that can be critiqued because of the knowledge that's out there. But if everyone had a knowledge of game development, and if everyone had a knowledge of how music was made, and if everyone had a knowledge of how writing was done, then yes, I could see opinions on certain things maybe being needed or not being needed, because everyone would know they could critique it themselves, right? But not everyone has that knowledge, which is what critiques are for. They're there because they think. Thing is, if a critic of anything should have complete knowledge of everything that goes into what they're critiquing, right? But
it's hard to say what complete knowledge is.
Like a complete knowledge, 100% knowledge. Like every detail about everything that could have happened or could not have happened. You'd think that the only person who has you would think the only person who has the authority to critique anything is an expert on the subject.
Oh, okay, right, okay, yeah.
Right,
sure.
We have that when it comes to news stories, right? And they usually get an expert on to say their opinion on what they think the news story should be, how it should be critiqued, right? How it should be talked about.
Yeah.
We don't have that as often when it comes to critiquing movies and or games and or TV shows. We do have that a lot with movies, because there are some critics out there who have been directors or been in the industry, but maybe not the entirety of the industry.
Sure.
There'd be a lot less jobs about if that was the thing,
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's the only problem.
I have to disagree that everything is subjective, because I believe that are objective facts about art, and I'll explain what I mean.
Yeah, go for it.
There is a reason, okay, that Fallen Order resonates with so many people. There is a reason the Dark Souls resonates with so many people, and there's a reason that Animal Crossing is apparently a good game when it isn't. No, I'm joking, but it is like resonates with people.
Yeah.
And I think it's because there are objective things that people enjoy or like or respect and appreciate. And I think that there's a reason why so many millions of people resonate with The Last of Us. Like, it is down to opinion, but I think that there is so much trend within our world. You have to ignore. Well, you should entertain the idea of acknowledgement that there are some things which clearly align with us. Otherwise we wouldn't have, for example, I've got the 100 movies bucket list to watch on a poster next to me. Why is it that The Godfather is so well known? Why is it that Lord of the Rings is so big? Why is it that Indiana Jones is so big? It's like some things just resonate because there is objective good things about things.
They're objectively good, I think is what you're trying to say. They all share the fact that they're all objectively good. You can't deny that they're not. That you can't. They're films that that no one can ever say were bad and give a good enough reason, right?
That's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
and you're saying there's a similar thing with games, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like, if let's just move away from the a game's broken argument. Like, we're looking at more kind of mechanic choice or artistic direction choice. Like, for example, you will appreciate Bloodborne art more than me, even though I do enjoy it.
100%.
But like you say, how can you say that's bad or good? It's just art. So like in that respect, it's absolutely subjective. But then when you look at the gameplay, it's like this is objectively good.
It's objectively good. Yeah. Like, so you can't deny of how much effort has been put in to make it what it is.
Exactly.
Which is weird when it comes there's certain films that I hate, right?
Sure.
I don't really want to say it because it's quite a jarring opinion to some people.
Okay.
But let's just, for an example, let's just say that there's a film that I really really hate, right? And for a very particular reason, but I can't deny that the amount of effort that was put in to make that film is substantially amazing, right?
Yes.
But then what makes me laugh is that they could put all this effort in but still make a terrible film.
Yes.
Right, which again, kind of defeats the argument we were both trying to say a minute ago, but it also reinforces it in saying that, yes, you can say that the amount of effort you put into something can mean it can be both bad and good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think as long as people acknowledge the amount of effort that people have put into something, they can say that it's either bad or good.
Yeah, and also I would like to bring up the fact that people forget that human beings create things all the time.
Yeah.
And I think whenever we joke around,
like
whenever we joke around about things being broken or not liking Animal Crossing, it's all in good nature. Like you say, I never want anyone to quit what they're doing because of what two buffoons have been saying.
Exactly. What we say doesn't really, it shouldn't affect how you continue to do your job.
Exactly, and if anything, should only be a positive takeaway. If anything, and I do actually think that a lot of movie, game, music criticism completely forgets that, because they try and look at it from a subjective, objective point of view. They want to look at it as, this is my opinion objectively, and it's like, yeah, but your opinion is hurtful, like really hurtful. And like, all right, maybe some things are put out there and clearly they're just put out there with no effort and they're just looking for traction, and it's like, no, that is actually rubbish. Like, that is objectively rubbish to a lot of people. Like, you can't hear the drums, it's objectively rubbish. But the majority of like things that are put out there, movies, games is, people like talk about games, like, I think that they forget that like people are behind it. You know what I mean?
Like, it takes a long time to get to that point as well. It can take upwards of a year, like way over a year to make a game.
Oh yeah, if not 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, exactly.
Again, this can all be summed up in the fact that as long as someone mentions that that they appreciate the amount of effort that was put into it, they can then give their opinion on whether it's good or bad and show evidence or not show evidence. It'd be good if they did show evidence because then it proved their point or disproved their point.
Yeah,
As long
100%.
as they have everything there, it's okay. I think.
Yeah, and going along with what we were talking about earlier,
I knew you were going to bring that. I was waiting for it.
the hit pieces
Yeah,
propaganda
exactly.
that we
It just
see,
makes that all much worse, doesn't it? It makes that all
100%.
worse. Yeah.
100%. Like, I'm doing what's best for everyone in society by saying that your art is rubbish, and it's like,
Which is
good,
not how you should
great.
be. Yeah, that's not how it should be.
Yeah. So sorry to sidetrack, Jay.
You can say it's rubbish. Just also say, "Oh, I also appreciate the fact that they put this much effort in." But I didn't.
Be
like
respectful.
Yeah, be respectful.
Be respectful.
Thing is,
yeah,
though,
100%.
I think that it also means that the people you're saying this about can then also retaliate and say what they want to say. But as long as they're not too, as long as they are either equally, I don't know actually. Does that give them the right to be equally as an
of course.
I don't know.
They can do whatever they want, man. Like, if they can, look, we're just asking. Like, I would just say that I would like to see a bit more respectfulness in reviews. That's all.
Yeah.
People can say what they want as they will, but if the developer wants to, say something back, I think that's fine, right? Like,
yeah, I think once this issue gets fixed, being able to take things or not take things, or whether people have the right to say things, I think once all that's sorted out, this whole PC thing should be
it's dying down. It's already nobody cares.
Honestly, depending on where you look, it's the biggest thing that anyone's ever thinking about.
I know what you're saying. I try and block my mind from it.
A lot of it is a very small group of very loud people.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they're so loud, it seems like a bigger crowd of people, when in fact it's actually quite a small crowd of people.
It's definitely not.
Yeah.
Anyone above 40 is pretty much not participating in
that echo chamber. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jay, quick one. Metascore for Animal Crossing New Horizons is 91. Okay.
Wow.
And the user score is 5.2. Okay. So reviewers.
Hang on, 5.2 out of 100?
Out of 10.
Oh, I was going to say. Right, okay.
So, again, IGN, who gave it 9 out of 10, GameSpot, who gave it 9 out of 10. I'm very happy you enjoyed it. However, okay, I can't help but think there might be a little bit of nostalgia involved in that verdict, with the whole 5.2 out of 10.
Yeah, and then I guess it also depends on who's giving it the score as well, doesn't it? Or...
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, a lot of people are hating on this game on Metacritic, which is a bit harsh.
Yeah, that's the thing. When it comes to these, you either can or can't trust them, because a lot of the time there's people who are disliking it just to dislike it, and there's also who are liking it just to like it, because they're a fan of it, so they're just giving it the best possible score because they don't want it to ever look bad.
Exactly.
And then there's people who want it to look so bad that they'll give it the worst possible score. So it's usually very difficult to tell what the actual score is nowadays.
Exactly. So, for example, Red Dead 2 Metascore of 93. First of all, way too low. Secondly, user score 5.1, which is lower than Animal Crossing. So what? I've clearly just debunked my own argument.
It's insane.
That is insane, isn't it? But we both know that Red Dead 2 is incredible. So
did you just say Red Dead 2 has a user score of 5.1?
Yeah, on PC, yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at an 8.2 overall.
Oh, maybe the PC one's got issues then.
This could just be the PlayStation 4. I was going to say the PC, you can't ever look at a PC review ever.
Why do people hate on it so much?
Because PC reviews are also always bugged out. They're awful.
Oh, fair. Right. Well, that's why I don't play PC.
I was going to say, you only ever look at a console review, never look at a PC
Well, 8.2 is pretty good then.
Yeah, so it's over 10,000 ratings, you got an 8.2.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
I'm just saying, official game reviewers who get paid to review games, which, is my dream job. Like, just try and take the nostalgia into account, man. Okay? Because you're all rating Nintendo games super highly, and we all know they just ain't that good. All right?
Final Fantasy 7 Remake got an 88 and an 8.0. Not bad.
That is similar. Very similar.
It's only 10 away in terms of meta score, but only 0.2 away for user score.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Wow.
I'm
There you
looking
go.
at all hundreds and all tens, lots of stuff. Yeah.
Well, let's move. Well, we've actually sidetracked Jay from the fact that Elder Scrolls 6 has started production.
Yeah,
So,
but, that's way in the future. We don't have to worry too much about that. We can just say we're looking forward to it and we're hoping it's going to be good. I mean, compared to Elder Scrolls 4 and 5, it should blow our bloody socks off, really, shouldn't it?
It should be a 10 out of 10, correct. Do you think the Starfield is actually wrapping up production then? Do you think they're going to release it next year?
That's weird. I mean, it depends on how long they've been. I don't know how long it's been in development.
Well, apparently been in development since 2016, I guess. Ish.
That's a good amount of time, I'd say 4 years.
But again, it's like a distribution of labour, isn't it? If everyone goes to work on Fallout 76 for a year, who knows how long it's actually taken to make Starfield, you know?
Yeah.
It's the problem with flexible studios, right? It's like, oh yeah, it took 6 years. It's like, yeah, but how long did it actually take in terms of, you know, whole studio working on it, not one person in a room, like the whole studio, you know?
We've been talking about it for a decade. We started putting things on paper 5-6 years ago, and active development from when we finished Fallout 4, so 2.5, 3 years. So they've actually been actively developing it. This is in 2018. They said this, right?
For Starfield.
So Starfield's been in development since roughly 2020, end of 2015, start of 2016.
That's what I thought, yeah.
So, yeah. But they've had the idea since 2008.
Jesus. What's the idea?
So things on paper since 2012, 2013. So
that's what I mean.
For a while. So obviously they've had a decade to think about what they want to do. They've had 6 years to think about how they want to do it, and then 3 or 4 years to actually start doing it and making it. So,
do you know what's interesting, Jay? I think you were onto something earlier when you said that, you know, this could be completely standout because it's a new thing from them, because maybe they are looking to create a new IP, and in that respect, it will be better than Fallout and Sky.
There's two things that get me very, very excited about games: new IPs and sequels.
Right.
If I hear about a new IP and it looks amazing, I'm both terrified and the most excited ever, because new IPs mean new stories, new history, new lore, something I can really get my teeth into, right? But then sequels also get me excited because it means, continuation of something I've already got my teeth into. Perfect. Like, I love anything that gives me more history about anything or more lore about anything. I'm excited about. I'm hoping what's it called? What's that game called? The bloody Minecraft copy thingy. That came out on PlayStation. No, the thing in space where you fly about and you.
Oh, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. I'm hoping it's not that.
Oh no, definitely not. It's nothing like that. I doubt. No. It'll be interesting to see what it is, though.
Yeah, I really hope it's good. It does say it's supposed to be so from what I see here, it says Bethesda's new space RPG.
Yes.
So at least we can go off that.
It's definitely a single player, first person RPG.
It kind of sounds like the Outer Worlds, doesn't it?
I was just thinking, like, maybe they're looking at Obsidian being like, damn it, you guys beat us to it.
Yeah, I think it will be
new IP and all
of that, but not really.
I think it'll be more unique, and I think because their aim, Obsidian's aim, was to make a Fallout New Vegas type, wasn't it?
I think it'll be like a better version, or I say better version, a different version of Mass Effect.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be Mass Effect 2.0. Like it'll improve on Andromeda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be more like that. I'm hoping it's like a Fallout type, Mass Effect type thing.
It'll be a Bethesda RPG in space.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be good though, and hopefully
it'll be really good.
No bloody what are those suits called in Fallout?
Power armor.
I hate power armor.
Do you really?
They're probably the worst thing about Fallout for me.
I like it.
No, they're the worst thing because they're not infinite. They have a life. They have a battery life, and I hate that.
Oh, Jay, you need to learn to use the battery, dude.
No, don't like it.
You got, dude.
I don't like anything that has a rundown. Has a cooldown, but then can't be replenished by just waiting.
Well, technically,
new thing.
You can.
Yeah,
okay,
but it's
hear
more.
me out.
You have to work. You have to work around it. And it's really annoying. It's not easy.
Hear me out. Hear me
It's not
out.
easy enough.
You can go back to your place, sleep and wait, and then buy some more batteries from a shop.
Yeah, that's not good enough for me. I want it. You know what?
Jay,
you know,
some
you
of
know
the
what
best
would have been
gameplays
perfect,
in
right?
that.
No.
Oh.
You know what would have been better if you had like at your base of operations, you could build like a recharge thing where all you've got to do is put the battery in, sleep, and then pull it out again.
That is a cool idea.
That would have been better because it would have given me more incentive to use the power armor more. But I think the reason they didn't do that is because the power armor is so good, they want to have a limited time on it.
Even though that's kind of broken, because by the time you have 30 batteries, you can be in it for as long as you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like
balancing.
that.
But again, that's
last news story of the day, Jay. We're nearly through the first half of the show.
Yeah, very quick with this one. Fable 4 rumors. There's a chance that it'll be revealed in the next few months. It was supposed to be revealed at E3, I think was the idea.
I've got to be honest with you, Jay. I can't actually consider this to be a reality. Otherwise, I'll actually die from excitement.
So Fable, the original guys who did that, Lionhead, they obviously are no longer around.
No longer around. Microsoft disbanded them. Apparently, Playground Games are creating Fable 4, so we suspect.
Yeah, so Playground Games are the guys who did
Forza Horizon series, and they are based in Britain, which gives them an edge because they've got the British sense of humour.
Yeah,
they've got the British weather to help them.
Glad about that.
And if this is actually real and true, I don't only think they can make the best Fable yet because of the technology and possibility they have. I also think, and the polish is very important because no Fable game has polish or a good amount. I'm actually, Jay, this could be I don't know about you, but Fable is one of my all-time favourite games.
Yeah, I know it is. Like, you're the Fable guy. You're the guy who's made Fable.
I love Fable 1 and 2.
Yeah,
love Fable 1 and 2.
Didn't like 3.
Dude, 3 is... I've completed that. I genuinely can't remember it.
Yeah, no, it's not anything to rave about.
It's sad, really.
To me, 2 is probably the best one. 1 has the most nostalgia, but 2 is the best one for me. Because 2 was just an improvement on 1.
I agree with you, mate.
Yeah. 2 is the Fallout 4 to Fallout 3 of Fable 1.
Do you know what's nice, Jay? Is that I remember the weekend when I was waiting for it to come in the post, and I was talking to you about 2.
Oh, okay.
And I was talking to you about it at high school, and
I've still got the guide for 2. I still have that.
Oh, dude, it's funny how I can remember playing that game for the first time, and now I appreciate that everyone else appreciates that it's a better game than 1. So, 100%. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice that it's come out, and like moving nostalgia for both games aside, we all know it's a better game. But when you first play it, you think it's a better game, but you have to detract yourself for a couple of years to really cement whether it is.
Yeah, I agree.
What Fable 4? Will you buy it, Jay? If it's
honestly, I have to see gameplay. I have to see the fact that there's a much better version of a level. There has to be a good level up system. There has to be skills. There has to be like really cool abilities, stroke magic, or just something. To be honest, I actually prefer. I don't know if would I prefer this. Is if they changed the time frame slightly.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't just all sort of like it's like old villager type looking, isn't it? It's all sort of like old England.
Well, it was industrial with Fable 3.
Yeah, so Fable 3 was sort of like kings and queens, wasn't it?
In an industrial revolution.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they mucked that up. They really mucked that up. They could have done that so much better.
Dude, that game was so broken.
Thing is, I'm trying to think what you kind of want to have Fable be. It's almost like Assassin's Creed, isn't it? It sort of has to be within a certain English time frame. It kind of has to be a part of Britain, but in a very particular time. You know, it'd be really good if they did a Scottish Fable.
I can get on board with that.
Where if they did like a what's that woman's name? Hang on. Female.
Jay, you talking about the main female?
Hang on.
Okay.
Let me see if I can look at this. Oh, is it? Oh, it begins with B, but I can't remember her name now.
Beatrix?
No.
Are you talking about your sister in the first game?
No, I'm not talking about a game at all. I'm just talking about a real person.
Oh, okay.
Oh, damn. Hang on. Scottish,
Not Braveheart.
female. Damn it. What do I search to look this up?
Is she an actress?
No, historical figure. There we go. That's a good one.
Oh, Queen Anne.
Nope. Where is she? Ah, oh, damn it. I'm not going to be able to find it.
Okay, well, I can get on board with the Scottish Fable.
Yeah.
I think...
it is technically it's the UK. It's not England. It's still the UK. It's still like... It has to be anything that has any amount of history, like really in-depth history. Right?
It will. What time frame do you think they should go for?
Well, Fable 1 was like what? I mean, I guess it could be like Middle Ages, like medieval, right? It was like Fable 1, Fable 2 was like medieval.
Yeah.
Fable 3 was what, 1800s if it was industrial?
Yeah.
So any time before the 1600s, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should just go back.
Oh, wait.
Just go back.
Definitely go back.
Definitely go back.
The origins of where this magic came from or something.
Exactly.
Jay. The reason why the world even has magic in it, like, because obviously...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know how you finish the game, Jay? Okay.
What, like, you're the reason why or something? Maybe you're the guy who...
Get this. Get this. You have a bad ending and a good ending for this game. First of all, it's a prequel, not a reboot.
Oh, 100%.
But they'll make it out like a reboot. And then you'll finish the game being part of Twin Blade's gang, right? And you will be the one who murders your mum and dad and blinds what's her face in the first game.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah, that would be good.
Boom.
That'd be really good.
Hire me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, thing is, if it's already in development and pretty much done at this point, then it's already been sorted out, isn't it? So,
yeah, that's true. Well, but dude, if there's a conference, we're gonna be chatting to each other live while it happens, and I'm gonna go berserk if I see
So I know why I remembered it now. So Boudica.
Okay.
Do you know who Boudica is? She's the she's not really that much known about her. I mean, there's a lot, but there's not as much about her origin. So a lot of people say that she was born into essentially the Celtic tribe, which is basically the Scots, right?
Yeah.
She's actually her full title is Boudica of Iceni.
That rings a bell.
Iceni is basically the tribe name for East Anglia.
Yeah, Queen of Iceni.
Yeah, Boudica. Right. So she got married to someone, the king of Iceni, essentially, and basically rattled and got enough people rattled to make the Romans bugger off, essentially, right? Because the Romans were trying to take over England at the time.
Yeah.
And I think she's quite a good, like, that whole time period would probably be quite a cool period to go back to. This was between 30 AD and 60 AD.
Crikey.
So quite a long time ago.
I think we could do it.
They're probably not going to do that. That's just a wild guess, but that'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, Joe, we've gone through the news. How about we do a look over the Rockstar release pattern? So Rockstar Games release plan. This follows from a news story, rumours of GTA 6 being early in development, apparently.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a good time to look over Rockstar Games' release schedule for the next...
What have they got coming up then?
So, announced games, nothing.
Oh,
continuation updates. We've got GTA Online and Red Dead Online. So they're supporting both of those with new content all the time. And the guess is GTA 6 is apparently in production. Apparently, it will be a smaller game, which they will update to be a large game over time. To
that's
me, that
interesting.
sounds very not Rockstar at all. So I don't know if I believe that. But then there's also, like, apparently, you know, a Bully 2's been rumored forever. And Max Payne 4, will we ever see that? Probably not. My
So,
question, go
yeah,
on.
go on. There you go.
Okay, my question to you is, what exactly is their release schedule looking like, and why have we moved away from a Rockstar which used to develop and publish, I don't know, 4 or 5 games a generation, if not more?
I think there's a fairly obvious answer here,
Mm-hmm.
and that is because the way games are now, they require quite a lot of time to get right, especially with the brand and the reputation that Rockstar has.
Yeah,
They now have to make every game the best possible version of what it could be.
yeah,
So between 98 and 2013, 2014, they probably released like 40 games, right? And they didn't have a year where they didn't release a game between 98 and 2014. They
is
released
that real?
at least one, if not three to like, yeah, I'd say so. 98 there was one game, 99 there was three. Between 2000 and 2002 there was nine.
Jesus.
2003 there was six. 2004 there was three, and then 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. Right, it's of 2014. So they definitely slowed down the further they went.
Mm-hmm.
And then between 2014 and 2018 there was nothing.
2. Well, okay. GTA 5 came out in 2013, and then
Yeah,
Red Dead 2 came out in 2018.
yeah. So between those years, nothing. Which I'm
Yeah.
guessing that big space there is development time for the next lot of games that are coming out.
Well, I assume that was all Red Dead 2.
I don't know. I mean, it could have either all been Red Dead 2, or it could have been a mixture of Red Dead 2 plus some other things.
True. So what? Okay, you might want to look this up to double check me, but from what I can remember, GTA 4 comes out 2008, and whether you like it or not, it was huge.
Yeah,
And then Red Dead 1 comes out in 2010.
yeah,
And then GTA 5 comes out in 2013.
yeah.
And it's like, whoa, that's a lot of momentum. And it's been 5 years and we've had one game.
Yeah,
Sorry, 5 years since 2013.
Yeah.
It's now been 7 years.
yeah. No, I mean, it depends on what Rockstar, their capabilities, but they've either spent the last 5 to 7 years developing both Red Dead and GTA 6 or something else, or they're now going to spend the next 4 or 5 years developing GTA 6 and or something else, or not at all.
Or perhaps most of their efforts have genuinely gone to online updates because that's where the money's coming in.
Yeah, I'd say it seems like a bit of an Epic Games situation going on here. AKA, drop everything, Fortnite is blowing up, everyone get on Fortnite right now.
Sure.
That's what happened, I'd say, 2 years ago, 2018. There was a game that was an online game called Paragon.
Yeah.
And I played the hell out of that, and they dropped it. And they were like, right, Fortnite's doing well, we're dropping this game.
Yeah.
Bye-bye servers. Yeah, your enjoyment's gone. So I was like, okay.
I feel quite bad for the developers of that, actually.
Well, I do too, because it's a pretty good game.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems like, I mean, the thing is, GTA 5's had that. I reckon that's probably what the gap between GTA 5 and 2 is also part of. Is the amount of money that GTA 5 is pulling in.
Yeah.
Like I also think that because Rockstar have the amount of money they have now, they've probably got enough money that they can spend the next probably 5 to 10 years not producing another single game.
100%.
They could literally spend the next decade making the next best game and not have to worry about losing out on money.
But the question is, should they not just follow the template they were following before to reach that point to continue it? So to arrive at GTA 5, you go through
good enough, right?
Sorry?
They must have figured out that their reputation now is so high that they could bring out any game and it'd probably do well.
Sure, but what I mean is perhaps they should look at their process of how they got to GTA 5, i.e. the biggest commercial success in perhaps video gaming ever,
Sure.
and look at that and go, okay, well, how can we do that again sustainably?
You mean catch lightning in a bottle? Yeah, try and do that again.
To be fair, I've always considered GTA 5 a timing thing.
Oh, 100%. It was perfect timing.
And the fact that it then got ported, like half of the sales are the port sales, you know,
100%.
at least. So for me, it's just a timing thing because every GTA has been huge, but it just seemed like GTA 5 came at the perfect time and was the perfect game at the perfect time.
Yeah, I think it was the audience as well. The audience had grown up enough probably to appreciate it, and probably the kids who around 2004 to 2008 when GTA San Andreas,
Vice City and all that.
all that came out, they were too young to play. So they thought, by the time 2013 rolls around, all those kids will be 18, so they'll be able to play it.
Well, true, but let's be honest here. A lot of 13-year-olds are playing God knows what anyway.
Yeah, I was.
We've been playing GTA 5 anyway.
I've been playing San Andreas since the day it came out, I want to say.
And part of it is the fact that gaming's bigger than ever, you know, more consoles sold than ever, so that's part of it as well.
Yeah.
But it's strange because GTA 5 isn't that different from other GTAs, so why is it just 10 times bigger than any, you know, well, not that bigger, but like 4 times bigger than any other GTA that came before it? That's my question. You know,
When
it's
it
got to
came
be
out
timing.
the same time as 1, didn't it? Like roughly the same time as GTA 1.
Yes.
So I reckon that was probably it. A lot of new people coming in being like, oh, GTA, give this a go.
But here's the thing, it was first on 360.
Exactly. So the people who didn't have any console were like, oh, I'll get this one. Oh, 5 comes with it? Cool.
Well, no, because it wasn't on Xbox One at launch.
Was it not?
No, it was like 2014, 2015.
Okay, maybe not then.
I think it might be a year later, actually. But
yeah, I think it might have been a year.
But like that's got to contribute. But it's funny because it's become the certified casual gamers game to have.
Yeah, it was not actually that easy of a game either.
That's what I mean.
Not really. I mean, it's actually like you could definitely get stuck on that game. I mean, you'd have to be a fairly bad gamer, but the average casual gamer would probably struggle at least a little bit.
I guess what I meant by casual gamer was someone who owns a games console but only plays 3 games: FIFA, COD, and GTA.
Oh, I see. That kind of boy, you mean?
Yeah, not like I think someone who experiments with video games probably has more diversity in their game choice than that sort of gamer.
Yeah, you're right.
And like whatever.
That's why they had the money to buy it because they've only got 2 games. They've only got COD and FIFA.
Well, exactly. But you got to remember, Jay. They got to buy that every year. Both of those every year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So that's probably the reason why they only buy those games because they can only afford it once a year.
You know, and as we all know, those games differ so much every year. So you know,
so different.
So different. You know, it's funny actually, Jay. You know, because I think, talking very broadly here, we're probably thought of as like complete video game nerds. But then it's like by people. Yeah, for sure.
Like, we know what we like, but we also know a lot more about the community as an idea. So,
well, okay, for me, Jay, right, it would be like liking first-person shooters but buying Wolfenstein Youngblood. Like, we've both done enough research to know we're not going to buy that game, but I feel like no matter how bad a FIFA is, they're buying the FIFA.
Oh yeah, because it's even if it was bad, it'd still be. It's like for them, I feel like FIFA is like pizza. Even if it's bad, it's still good.
Interesting point.
Like it still tastes nice. It just doesn't taste as nice as maybe a previous one or a future one. You know, I think they've just got hope. They've got a lot of hope, which we do about some games too. You know, we hope too much sometimes. We hope not enough sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
Like you say, ebb and flow on that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, in terms of when this next one's bloody coming out, I don't know. I think it'll be out before 2030. I think that's probably a guarantee.
Jay, well,
if you had to guess, let's say if you had to guess the year. If
I'm honest with you, mate, Red Dead 2 is so big and so exactly what I've wanted ever. it's kind of for me now. It's kind of a case of okay, if Rockstar come out with another game, cool, but like I'm not going to be rushing to play it because GTA's never done what Red Dead does for me, and Bully is in that, and I love GTA 5, but like I don't play it anymore.
I feel like you saying that is probably good feedback for Rockstar and being like, right, we're not going to bring it out sooner rather than later. Then we'll let these people still get bored of Red Dead 2. Because I'm guessing that's what they would have done with, GTA 4. People weren't playing GTA 4 in 2012, 2013. I mean, they might have been, but not as many people as when they were playing in 2008.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, I don't know what the numbers are, but I reckon the numbers are probably bigger than ever on GTA 5.
I would imagine
still
so.
play that. A lot of people.
Yeah. Well, maybe not as big as launch, but
a very consistent thing on that. They must do, mustn't they?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's just, yeah, I don't know, dude. For me, I'm at a point now where what I'm trying to say is if GTA 6 comes out, I'm just going to go, great, another 100-hour like single player game I'm going to have to complete. That's kind of how my thinking is right now. Today.
Yeah, right now. But I'm saying that when it does come out, you probably won't be thinking that. You're probably thinking, "Great, a new GTA. I'll play this."
Hopefully,
it'll have been long enough.
Hopefully, Red Dead 2's already taken me 2 years.
If it comes out 10 years after 5, then I think that's probably like the earliest it could ever come out.
Wow, that's so long.
Yeah, but I know it's long, but it doesn't feel like long because 2013 was 7 years ago, so we've only got 3 years to wait. We've got less time to wait than we would have done since launch, right?
To be fair, though, I do think that the gap between GTA 5 and Red Dead 2 felt and was pretty big.
5 years. 5 years.
Yeah. I know we had the port of GTA 5, and I played GTA 5 like 2015.
That matches up with the 5-year span between 2018 and 2023, then, right?
Yeah.
So if I say 23 is probably the earliest you could probably expect 6.
Wow.
5 years and 5 years, right?
Yeah.
We'll go with that. Anything after that is fine, but whatever.
Yeah, and you think
any other? It's probably rushed. I don't know.
Any other games coming out from Rockstar? Do you think before then?
No, I think they're probably going to spend their time on 6. I mean, I can't imagine them wanting to do much else.
How do you think they stay motivated, Jay, when they don't have to get up in the morning in terms of financially?
The thing is, we don't know. They probably do.
Oh, true.
You mean like the people who own Rockstar or the people who work there?
Yeah. Well, Dan Holmes left, I think he was a founder, and he was one of the main creative leads of the recent games.
He probably still has a stake in it. He's definitely still part of the company. He just doesn't work there anymore because he's probably got enough money to live for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He just retired early, didn't he?
It sounds it. I
mean, you would do though, wouldn't you? Like, there's no reason in working the rest of your life if you.
Well, unless you have a creative, need.
And technically, you wouldn't need to work as long as you still made the same amount of money. Because if you're your own boss, you can still get paid how much you were getting paid without having to work a single day in your life.
It's true.
Yeah, as long as the people who work below you make enough money for you, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's true.
Whether there's if that's lawful or not, I don't know.
Well, so are you excited for Rockstar's next game? Did you play Red Dead 2?
Yeah, I still need to complete it.
Oh,
I actually looked at it the other day and thought, do I want to download this right now, or do I want to play Wolfenstein? And I picked Wolfenstein.
How far did you get in it?
I'm trying to remember. It's probably ages ago when I played it. I'm a good amount. How many chapters are there?
Oh, I can't say.
What, you can't say because you won't say? You won't say because you don't want to spoil it? What?
Spoilers.
Is that a spoiler?
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I could Google it.
I wouldn't. I assume you know the ending anyway, knowing you.
No, I don't actually.
Okay. Jay, I need you to download Red Dead 2 right now, and I need you to finish that game.
I'm not in the mood, honestly. I need to be in the mood for it, I think.
Did you get bored?
No, I think something else came out. I might have to Google it, actually. So it came out in 2018, right?
Yeah, but nothing came out 2 weeks after it because everyone knew that it'd be financial suicide. The game that came out after Red Dead 2 was Fallout 76. And Spyro Trilogy, actually, on the same day. But anyways, I thoroughly recommend you play it. Are you excited for Rockstar's next game, Jay?
I mean, I guess they make good games.
Yeah. Are you a big GTA fan?
Yeah. I mean, to an extent. I mean, 4 was fine. I mean, it was. The ones I played the most of were San Andreas and Vice City. I completed 5 and I liked it. I think might have even played it twice. I can't remember. I'd say 5 is probably the best GTA ever.
Yeah, so would I.
It beats out the nostalgia of Vice City and San Andreas easily.
Yeah, which is
Actually,
surprising.
weirdly, in my head, I'd say best to worst probably goes 5, 4, and then everything else below it.
You like 4?
I love 4. Yeah, 4's great.
See, I played 4 for the first time a few years ago, and I got to say, Jay, I found it extremely boring.
Oh, it's very boring. It's very plain. It's very not colourful. It's very bland.
Well, dude, I'm not joking here. The first 7 missions you drive. That's it.
Yeah, that's very true. I will say actually the DLC for 4 is very good.
Well, that's the thing. I played and finished the Ballad of Gay Tony, which is way more fun than GTA 4 is.
I will say Ballad of Gay Tony beats the actual base game itself.
I think so.
It was so good. I think because it had colour. There was just colour everywhere.
Yeah.
It was basically like playing Vice City again. It felt great.
I enjoyed that DLC, but GTA 5, like you say, I think GTA 5 is possibly the best written game ever made.
Yeah, no, it's very well written.
Most well written.
Yeah.
Oh, I just think it's incredible. Are you still looking it up, Jay?
No, I'm actually looking up November releases 2018.
Do you think something came out 2019?
Just to see if anything after Red Dead came out that would have been interesting to me in any amount of way. Don't think so. But there's so many games that came out. Jesus Christ. There's no definitive list. This is annoying me.
It's all right. Don't worry.
Sorry, I know where there's a good one, so I'll just go with that.
But I think you should play it. But to be fair, Jay, speaking of back catalogue or backlogs, if you're ever stuck, you should definitely ask, because I will tell you the best games to play that you haven't played.
I could probably say the same to you, my guy.
Oh, yeah.
No.
If you know me, yeah, fair. Star Wars is a good recommendation.
I mean,
even though I was going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I can only really go off of what I've played, I suppose. I don't know. I feel like I probably could. I mean, I probably could.
The fact you haven't completed God of War Reboot is shameful.
You know what? I looked at that again. I have it. I just haven't played it. I looked at it.
It's like
2 days ago. I looked at it and went, "Do I want to play Wolfenstein? Do I want to play God of War? I'll play Wolfenstein." I was more in the mood for Wolfenstein.
Yeah, and and that's fine. I'm not going to challenge that.
Yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, let's move on to the last segment of the show, or second to last segment of the show, because at the moment, the audience isn't going to live to hear this.
Let's turn up that. Yeah.
Jay, it's time for History Dip. So, first on the list, let's deal with your Mark's email request, as we promised last week.
Do that.
Best game moments. Future?
Yeah, what? I put future just for not games that came out 10 years ago, but maybe games that came out more recently.
I can do that. So to be quick about it, I have played through a significant amount of backlog games in the last 4 years, and I've pretty much covered every game I've ever wanted to play. So a lot of my best gaming moments have actually, significant ones have been in the last few years. The one I think that will not surprise anyone is the most emotional one, and the one which, if you know it, you definitely know it, but it is the most impactful gaming moment I've ever had, and it's the beginning of The Last of Us. And I won't say what happens, but...
Again, I have it, still haven't played it. I'm getting there, my guy. I'm getting there.
It's the most emotional moment I've ever played through on a video game.
I'm trying to remember Yeah, I guess weirdly, a lot of the more emotional stuff that's happened to me recently is Final Fantasy. Oh
Yeah, which
god,
is such a different, like experience. It's
very
yeah,
personal, I imagine.
the Last of Us opening is about 10 minutes,
Hmm.
maybe 15, and it made me more emotional than any game has over any number of hours.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, it was
And
consistently made you feel
no,
emotional.
as in the game made me more emotional in 10 minutes than any other game ever has.
See, I get that with anything in over like 30 seconds. Honestly, you can show me 30 seconds of a completely new thing, and I've already fallen in love with most of the characters. That's not even a joke. Not even a
Dude,
joke.
the opening of The Last of Us is probably the best gaming moment I've ever had.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I'm now looking. What you want me to give me like best ever, or just like one in general? One out of the many.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah,
Can you give your best ever?
best ever.
The ending of Final Fantasy 13 is up there for me, I've got to say.
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely up there. I mean, any of the recent Final Fantasy stuff I've done. Um, and actually, Assassin's Creed Syndicate
Interesting.
for me was a really big one. Very recently, finally went back and completed load of Assassin's Creed, as we know. Syndicate blew me away. Like it surprised me how good it was.
Have you got a particular moment from that game or a game in mind, Jay?
Good question. Tell you what, Firewatch. Do you remember Firewatch?
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say Firewatch is like the ending of Firewatch was very emotional and weird and
Okay.
memorable for me, just because of
How?
how like the game actually lended itself to you going around and listening to certain things.
Yes.
Because if you didn't, you really wouldn't understand much about the story. And
Yes.
the story in that is amazing.
How did it affect you?
Um, it made me
What do you?
think. It sort of like made me sort of think about real world stuff. I guess like maybe like relationships and like the future, and maybe like
What?
how like men behave in certain situations. Maybe
Mm,
because the majority of the story of Firewatch is about a man who has separated from his wife, I think, but for a very odd reason. I don't want to give too much away.
yeah.
And he's sort of like finding himself going in the middle of these, giant woods or whatever, trying to find himself, and ends up finding something that he didn't. I mean, he knew he wanted, but he didn't. Like, I don't really want to spoil it. It's like one of those games that's so like kind of spacey and supernatural almost. It's kind of like the ending isn't given to you on on a silver platter. It's sort of you have to kind of put two and two together. And if you
See,
understand it, you understand it. If you don't, you don't. But because I understand it, I appreciate it more. And if I
maybe you
say
can
any
break.
more than that, it kind of like ruins it. That's the thing.
Maybe
Like, it's
you.
very
I can
special.
for sure.
Yeah.
They're
So
Campo Santo. They're in Valve now. I
yeah,
think that.
I've
I
got
think
quite
they
a few
helped.
people.
Yeah, I think they helped develop Half-Life Alex.
I want to say there was another game that came out that was by the same people who did Firewatch, right?
That it was going to Valley of the Gods or
Yeah,
something.
but
Yeah.
it didn't.
No, yeah, because when Valve absorbed them, the whole project just got put on hold.
Oh, okay.
It's a shame, isn't it?
I would love another game from them. That'd been cool.
Have you? Okay, so cool gaming moments, Firewatch for you. Anything else, Jay?
I mean, I think my favorite game of all time is still LA Noire.
Okay.
That whole aesthetic of that was just insane. Like again, like a lot of games for me just come down to aesthetic, like the way they look and feel, like the time span, like the 50s is just such a cool. And the fact that it's like murder, it's literally you can like how we said about I want to be a Jedi in Star Wars. Well, I want to be a murder detective in the 50s in Hollywood. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
For
for
sure.
me, that's just spot on.
And what do you think that the style and art impacts more than the game itself?
So yeah, only
You-
one was that thing where they started to use facial recognition for games, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
was like it was Rockstar, right? Yeah. So it
Yeah.
was when they had that technology that at the time looked amazing. Right now, it doesn't look as good, but because they use it in pretty much everything now. But at the time, it was like it was part of the mechanic of the game, wasn't it? Because you had to tell whether someone was lying with their face or not.
Yeah.
So it actually played into it quite well. But yeah, I think there was but I think they actually touched on the Black Dahlia murders in the game, and it sort of like made its own history of the things that played out in real life. I think that was a good moment for me, like just sort of being able to live in the world that real world things happened, but like giving it its own spin on it. Although I would have actually preferred if it went like more gory, if it was like almost like a HBO show. It wasn't as like in like I don't know. I think limitations of the technology maybe. Like I'd love if they made like a really, really like a HBO show level gore, like murder mystery in the 50s or in the 60s type show, almost like a Tarantino film but brought to game. Like how cool would that be?
Well, it's funny you say that, Jay, because I mean, this is kind of on a similar tread. 1950s, 60s. Our history dip for today is Mafia 2.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
So
Yeah,
it's kind of in a similar universe, right? Of like 50s
yeah.
gangsters
Yeah, it was
and
after the war because the first mission in that is you're in the war in Italy. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah. You play the soldier, don't you? And you come back from the war, and it's all cold, and you have to go help someone fix their car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Mafia 2 when it came out because I thought it looked good, and I was pretty blown away by the storytelling in that game at the time. I feel like it's fallen by the wayside a bit in terms of recognition, but
Oh,
I
100%.
thought the story was excellent.
I
When
mean, it's got really good reviews. 97%, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
oh, that's good. I'm glad
Yeah,
about that.
I'm glad too. Yeah,
Well,
they
did
came out
you?
August 2010. If you're wondering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I really enjoyed Mafia 2 a lot, and I wish I played it probably a little bit more. What did
Honestly,
you?
the
What
graphics hold up really well.
did I?
Yeah, no,
Um,
Mafia 2 was a game changer for me. It sort of like introduced storytelling in a very different way.
mm,
The storytelling is
mm.
massive, and thankfully the graphics hold up enough to actually play that out well enough for me to believe in it.
I remember the cars looking particularly good in that
Oh
game.
yeah,
Actually,
that was actually a big part of it. Is the driving mechanic was actually really good in that.
yeah,
So that was
I
2K, that wasn't it? Yeah, 2K
yeah.
check.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, I liked Mafia 2 a lot. Um, is it Vito Scaletta? Is that his name?
Wow, it's been a while. I think so. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. No, I really
Yeah.
like
Oh
Mafia
wow, you
2.
got that dead on. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, he's I really like that game. I think it's definitely a game you should play if you're going through the, classic 360 or 360 generation games.
And the achievements on that are actually pretty satisfying.
Yes,
I
they
remember there
are.
being one achievement that was really annoying. It was like something about you had to like stealthily go through a bank or something, like halfway
Okay.
through the game, and that sucked. But other than that, I don't know if I 100% of this. I will have to double check.
There wasn't that much to do in the open world, but I think the story was good enough to serve it.
Mm.
I really enjoyed Mafia 2.
Yeah, Mafia 2 was special, definitely.
Yeah. Quick reminder for anyone who's still alive that you can write into the TGO show at contact@thegameopinion.co.uk. Jay, let's finish up on the TGO show. Thank you for joining me this week, and I hope you have a good week, and thank you for your contribution. What will you be playing this week, Jay?
So it's looking like Borderlands 3, at least for tonight, just to see how that is.
Yes, yeah.
And then it'll probably be Trials of Mana, although it depends on because there's definitely no there's definitely no guides for that at the minute. I've checked, and nobody's been able to get an early copy of the game to actually play it and get any guides up. So I might wait a week on that. I don't know. I might complete New Colossus first. And
No,
then come
Red Dead
back.
2, mate. No, you meant to say Red Dead 2.
No, I meant to say Wolfenstein 2. I think. Yeah.
Fair. So,
So yeah, I think I'll do one of those first, and then we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
great. Okay.
What about
Well, I
you?
look forward. I will be Red Dead 2 all the way, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have completed that. You just haven't got everything done.
Yeah. So
You know
let
what I mean?
me.
Like, you completed the story, it's just you haven't done everything else.
Yeah. So I've done. Technically, I've done 95.2%.
Wow, that's insane.
So now I'm doing hunting requests, which is my last great collectible, aside from skinning every animal in the game. And that's kind of the last great side mission I've got to do. I'm on 4 out of 5, which isn't too bad. I'm actually fairly hopeful about the last few animals. And then I've got to get a gold medal on every story mission. So that's fun.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm not too bothered about the gold medals because I get to see the cutscenes again, and I do love the Red Dead 2 cutscenes and acting. But I'm now going to play the same mission fight for the 5th time, and I'm getting pretty impatient with it now.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. But I feel good about it. I feel like I'm getting back into Red Dead 2 in a really good way. I can see the end of the road rather than just being confused in the fog. I can see the end of the road, and I can see it's achievable. I've got a couple of achievements to do. I've got all the online stuff to do, but I'm hopeful. So yeah,
Okay, good. Yeah, no, I'm kind of waiting now because you. I feel like both Red Dead and Skyrim are sort of both of those kind of games that take so long to get 100% on,
exactly, mate. And they'll
and
be
that you've
so
been
good
so
once.
close to both of them for so long. So
Exactly. I
yeah,
appreciate your understanding. I'm really looking forward to uninstalling Red Dead 2 considering it's 105 gigs. So
oh, that's the point. Yeah, it's pretty big, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
Modern Warfare 2 when that arrives, but we'll talk about that next week. But yeah, so have fun in Wolfenstein 2. Do you think anything to Trials of Mana after that, basically?
Yeah, I think I will do Wolfenstein first, just because I'm sort of still in the mood for it, and then Trials of Mana will be like a good, refreshing kind of
Will
laid back
you
RPG experience. Hopefully.
will you do all the DLCs for Wolfenstein 2?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping they'll be good. I might like see how I feel at the end of this actual game. A lot of the time, I get like really, out of steam by the end of that. So I don't know how to.
Yeah, I've got to admit, Jay, I looked at my achievements while we were talking about it, and I don't think I did the DLCs or did all of them. I think I got bored. I think I got steamed out.
Yeah, which will more than likely happen, annoyingly. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think I remember looking at the looking at the cutscenes for the DLCs and thinking, yeah, I didn't miss anything special there. I've got to say. So I might go back and mop them up. Probably won't because I've got to do Red Dead 2. I think I'd rather do that. But